Welcome to A Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmit, and my pronouns are Hershey, like the chocolate.
And my name's Emily Bateman, and my pronouns are she, her.
And this is A Game of Thrones, Season 1, Episode 4, Cripples, Bastards, and Broken Things. In this episode, we get introduced to the idea of sexposition. That's a term that was invented because of this show. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Wow. The cultural impact is crazy.
Yes, very positive impact.
Well, okay. No, but I'm just saying, like, I knew the term, not
exists.
The show, you know?
Yeah. Fair. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Oh, sorry. Welcome, Harmit. Welcome, Emily. So happy to have you here.
Yay.
Did anybody die in this episode?
No? I'm saying that before really thinking it through.
No. Of course. Sir Hugh of the Vale.
Oh, shit.
Guy got impaled.
That guy.
Oh, yeah, during the tourney, and, like, Sansa had to sit there and watch that. That was fun.
Yeah, like, and
Fun,
Arya
as in
and the
not fun.
Septa and Littlefinger. Like, everybody was there. And like,
Yeah,
off
yeah,
to the
but-
side, you could also see little Tommen and Marcella. And I was like, I hope they were... I hope they kept them off screen so that they didn't have to see any of it. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. See,
Not that it's
Sansa was
real,
the
but-
one who looked the most shocked, so
Right.
I was
And
like,
Arya
oh,
was
yeah, she saw
into it.
that. Yeah.
It was
absolutely.
Weird foreshadowing. She's
She
like,
was
oh,
not
that's what
affected.
they mean when, like, you poke them full of holes and they leak water everywhere.
Oh my
Mhm.
god. She's like, that guy really hit him with the pointy end. Like, she's like approving.
Yeah, so we did have a death. Yay!
That's a reaction.
Hence the yay. So, okay. We'll get to you, Harmit. You're always here. Emily. For anybody who doesn't know, I think I forgot to do this last episode because I was just so excited
yeah,
talking to Kate.
We forgot
But
about this.
Emily
Wow.
has a podcast called Game of Thrones, and Emily has covered all of Game of Thrones, the show,
Yes.
and now has also covered all of House of Dragon, the show. So she is an expert, and she's been doing
okay.
this for a while. So Emily,
Yes.
what was it like for you to go all these seasons back to season 1, episode 4?
Oh god.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Yes, because I was trying to watch it as like an observer. Like I only took some notes by pen. I really didn't
Mhm.
pause it that much. I was trying to just take it in
in.
instead of write every plot point down. And at the end of it, I didn't feel very, I was like, well, this not a, like my takeaway originally was like, well, this wasn't very impactful. This wasn't very shocking. And it's like, because I know the fucking plot. I'm sorry, I can curse, right?
Yes, 100%.
Okay,
All
great.
you
I
want.
forgot. And I was like, it's because you already know it, Emily. This is the first time you watched it again, and you already know the big things.
So you
of,
haven't
oh my
gone
God.
back and rewatched any of the show.
None of it. No.
Wow.
I know. And
Well,
I
thank you
feel
for
like-
doing it for
so-
us.
Oh,
So
of
what do
course.
you do, like, when you forget? Like, you're on, like, season 5, episode 3, and you're like, what happened? Do you just, like, search it up? Like, what do you do? Refer to your
know.
notes?
Yeah,
I
you
do-
like
yes, I
refer to
do
your
have
notes. Kate's
since my
really good at
first
doing that.
Season. Although I feel like for big things, my memory's decent.
Yeah.
As far as like little names and things like I was picking up on things now, like family names or like
Mm.
things that I was like, oh, these are important later, or these are in House of the Dragon or something weird like that. So it was weird for me to pick up on extra things, but also look at everything with a different lens. Of I've seen these people through to the end of this story, and man, how these people have changed, and like they like this person was much more mean in the beginning, or this person had a different, means to an end, or whatever. The one thing I do regret not doing was listening to my own episode, not to be egotistical, but my own thoughts. I should have done that. And I didn't think about that until literally like last night. And I was like, I have no time for this. Because it was probably like a very long episode because I didn't know how to edit. So that's my one thing I regret, is wondering what I was thinking at the time. I did apparently post a clip, like an audio clip, back when I was doing those. And the only thing that I complained about, and this was a very prevalent for probably the first couple seasons of Game of Thrones, was Kit Harington's open mouth.
Trust me, we talked about that last week with Emily.
We talked
With
about
Kate.
that so
Keep
much
doing
with
this.
Kate. Oh my
It's
god,
okay.
that was... We had like a
I
whole
was the one that
30-minute
pointed it out
segment
to
about Kit
her.
Harington.
I was yelling at her about it. I know.
No,
the
we were
first time I
talking
was like,
about
what is
how
wrong with
Harmouth is
this guy?
obsessed with John and how you
I
could
know.
not deal with him.
I know. I was listening to your because I wanted to remember how you guys felt about, or how especially Harmouth felt about the second episode, and I was like, "Oh, we disagree very incredibly." But upon watching again, he was much more tolerable.
Oh
And
yeah,
so I
he
don't
had
know-
his mouth closed
Oh.
like several times this episode.
But also,
Yeah,
like,
we were kind of proud
I
of
found
him.
I found out that I liked Kit Harington a lot more when I saw him as a real person, and I was able to see him smile, do interview,
Right.
like other things besides
Aw.
having to be Jon Snow.
Yeah.
And so watching it
So
again, I
you
was like,
still don't like Jon
"Aw."
Snow, you just like Kit more now, is what
I
I'm
mean,
hearing.
okay, at this point, yes.
And
I
he
can't
does
talk
get
to you
better.
about how I
we
feel
talked
about
about
Jon
how he
Snow.
gets better.
Okay, he does. He absolutely does. Yes. But
Okay,
I don't know
exciting.
how much I want to tell you. The writing gets better for him. He's able to express more of his feelings. Because for me, it was a lot of, I don't know what
Grunts.
he's thinking. Well, I don't know what he's thinking. He's just standing there with his mouth open, not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, all of like
Express
his
something.
inner
Emote.
monologues. It's like they gave him the monologue on the paper to like recite to himself in his head while he
With
stands
nothing.
there.
Yes. So yeah, a lot of it I blame now on the writing, because
Yeah.
he comes through.
Nice.
He was never, it's never going to be like, he's middling for me. Like I would, like top middle, like not like top, but like top
Right.
middle.
He's
Right.
no Peter Dinklage, but he's also
Sure.
not some other people who I won't
See,
call
like
out right now.
Theon.
right.
Weird to see Theon. That was a weird one.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
it certainly is. Yeah, he's been
Mhm.
dead in our books for like, has he been dead for 2 or 3 books, Harmouth?
Did he
Like
die in
several
book
books,
two?
but like
At
whatever.
least a book. and a
Yeah,
half
all of
or
last
something.
episode, I just kept pointing to like whole scenes and then being like, everybody in this scene is dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like anytime
man. Yeah,
Ned and
I wish I
Catelyn are
had been able
together,
to listen.
like-
yeah.
Yeah, Maester.
I went back and read a summary of that episode, so I was like, hopefully, because my account still won't show me previously on, so I was like, I'm
Right.
just jumping in.
Yeah, we also did not get a
Right.
previously on, so
Oh no.
but we had just watched it, so
You
it
just
was
watched,
like
that's right.
fresh in our brain,
Yes.
so it was okay.
I will
Yeah,
say
overall-
everything is mixed up. For
Oh
sure.
no.
It's okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Overall,
Overall, just funny to see everyone younger, which everyone
Yeah.
always talks about. Interesting to see clothing choices for characters early on, especially Daenerys.
oh yeah,
Her wardrobe, and even Jon to a certain extent, and Sansa, because they do a lot with her hair
Mhm.
throughout.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Um,
No, I'm just like now I'm envisioning. I'm like, okay, what could Sansa's hair be? What could John's outfits be? Okay, sorry.
oh,
All
I'm
right.
just
Getting
I'm
me
talking
hyped.
too much. I'm talking too much.
No, you're just getting me hyped. This is good. Keep going.
Okay.
All right.
No, yeah. I think I've talked enough.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, it is really weird going back that far back. It's kind of like the good old days, but also like the bad old days all mixed into one.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Because the early seasons, once again, so we watched these episodes together, and I kept saying to Harmit, like, there's so many, like, just direct lines from the books, and all the good lines are, like, not all, like, a lot of the good lines are, like, directly word for word from the book, and it's like, oh my god, when they did that, and then they, like, veered so off and also ran out of content, like, you can tell the difference there, but also, like, you were pointing out, some of, like, the acting's not super great, or there's, like, the sets are a little questionable or things like that. So in certain aspects it's good, but in other aspects not so good. It's an Harmith, what, as, like, somebody coming completely newly to, I think you just always love it because you love being able to see things on the screen.
I think, okay, what were my thoughts this time? So I think compared to episode 3, I did like this one a little bit less.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's because of how exposition-y it was. Like, how some of the scenes felt so, like, I just was like, oh, I know this. But, like when they brought Theon on, and he's having that conversation, and it's like, oh, now we're learning everything about Theon. Like, it just, like, I just kind of was like, as a viewer, it kind of was like, okay, like, maybe we could have done this more creatively. Like, not that, like, I'm a movie maker. This is not a movie. Not that I'm a showmaker, but, like, you know, there was just certain things where I was like, I was not bored at all, but I feel like on a rewatch, I could have gotten bored. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
like,
yeah, I think, like, people watching the show for the first time and not being familiar with the books, they probably grasp onto those moments because they're like, context.
So important.
But for us who know everything, it's, like, weird, like, okay, we know it, move on.
I think also, like, because I know we made fun of it with Kate, how in the 3rd episode, they had so many scene changes. Like, they would have, like, there would be a moment at the wall, and then they would flip back and forth between the wall and King's Landing, and it would be, like, 2-minute conversations. But it might have been good for my 2025, like, brain-rotted brain, because then with this one, I felt like there were conversations that went on for too long, and I was almost craving the little, like,
you're
flipping
like,
banger and forth, maybe a little bit. So I don't know if that's a me attention span thing, but I don't want to blame myself, though, because I haven't really noticed that watching other things. So I don't think the brain rot has gotten to me that much yet, but just something to keep an eye on, I think. But there was definitely moments where I was like, oh, this is kind of dragging on. Like the Viserys and I forget the girl's name, but, like, the sexposition scene that I'm pretty sure you were referring to with the line, like, that one I was like, oh, we've been here for, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
it was very long.
So there was
and,
just
like,
certain
largely
things,
unnecessary, I thought, but whatever.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but it just, there just was moments like that where I was like, oh, like, we've been here at this tub for, like, 5 minutes. But also, like you said, it's just, like, there's something to, like, reading a book and then you go watch the show or go watch the movie, and, like, it just is so relaxing. It feels like experiencing the same characters and the same story on easy mode, because then it's like when I'm sitting back and it's just going, because with books, it's like I find myself constantly stopping and thinking and, like, trying to be all critical about it, and I can't stop it. But then when I'm watching a show with somebody else, like, I can't be pausing every 2 seconds like I'm watching with someone else, you know? So it's just nice because it's like I get to experience the story on easy mode. So, and I still felt that way, like, even on the 4th episode. So I liked that. And this episode featured a lot more of Jon, which was fun. And we met Sam, which was really fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think those are my thoughts.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, in the tradition of Game of Groans, we're going to talk about who wrote and directed this. They're both Brian's. It's written by Brian Cogman, who goes on to write, like, 10 other episodes of the show.
Name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very familiar in the Game of Thrones world. And then the director is Brian Kirk, who I didn't look up, but the name wasn't super familiar to me. So I was like, okay, it's some guy.
Maybe an early season guy, you know?
Yeah.
They
But
tossed him aside later.
the exciting
they do with
bit,
some of them.
yes.
Really? Oh, wow.
And they don't always keep the best ones, which is
Nope. Lovely.
Absolutely not.
Good to know.
now for the description. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Ned looks for clues. Robert and his guests witness a tournament. Viserys clashes with Daenerys.
That's so
Oh my
funny because I
God.
wrote down mine. I got a different one.
You did? What's
What?
yours?
Mhm. So mine's through Hulu/HBO Max. So, and I
Okay.
know, Nuv, you've said before you guys have a different version
We
of
have
Hulu.
we have Crave, which is
Okay,
I think our Hulu.
So-
I don't know. It's
I
yeah.
believe so, I think. So mine said, Ned probes Aaron's death, semicolon, John takes measures to protect Sam.
That's it.
Oh,
That's it.
it's like like why not put the John line in this description too?
Yeah.
Like they're all and the semicolons are consistent. That like every
Mhm.
like why not
absolutely.
just end
Yes.
it with a period? What's with the semicolons?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's weird. I mean,
That's
it is
so
very
silly.
the Ned probes John Aaron's death is like I prefer
It's-
the Ned looks for clues more than
Probe is a little too graphic for a series that is
Thanks,
graphic. Like-
America.
yeah.
God.
But I
Yeah.
like that they
Worst.
talk about John and Sam. That's good.
Mhm.
Yeah. But you don't know
Wow.
who Sam is if you're reading it before you watch it.
That's true. Oh yeah, because he's introduced in this episode. Oh,
They're
That
dumb.
is fun.
These writers, they're just, no.
okay.
No.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
why
God.
like we don't like Harmouth is not allowed to read any of the descriptions before, and I don't really
Oh, yeah,
give a
no.
lot of credit to them, but I always enjoy you critiquing
I
them.
don't know
so that's
why we did it. I truly don't know why we started.
No, I like
That's
I said,
so
I like you
funny.
critiquing them, and
Oh, well, thank
is it technically correct or technically true?
That was our, yeah.
Oh,
Usually-
that's such a
especially
cute little
Game of Thrones, especially
Yeah.
was, okay, technically correct, but poorly written, or no, that's absolutely wrong.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
so fun.
Mhm.
Okay, so Harmouth.
Okay,
do
wait,
you
I
wanna
have
do
a question.
Oh,
Wait,
go ahead.
can I ask a quick question?
Yeah,
Was Sam introduced in book 1 or book 2?
Oh,
In
yeah.
my head it was
in book 1, like this. Whole
Okay,
thing
we met him that
happens.
early? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Okay. I just couldn't remember, like, because from when I think about book 1, like, obviously John
Book
is there,
2, they're
but,
already like out beyond the wall. Like
oh, okay, cool. Because in my head, when I think of book 1, I'm like, oh, there was a lot of Catelyn, a lot of Ned,
we
and like
didn't
some
get a
John
Sam
and some
POV
Danny.
until book 3.
Oh,
He
so maybe that's where
is
my
a
brain's.
character in book
Mm,
starting with
okay.
book 1.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So,
All right.
okay, cool.
Summarize.
Oh god, I literally don't remember anything that happened. Okay, I'll figure
We'll
it
give
out.
you a minute and see where you get.
Yes. Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
3, 2, 1, go.
Danny Viserys fight. Danny wins. Yay. Sam shows up. People are mean to him. John is like, we're actually not gonna fight with him. Alistair gets mad. I don't remember anything else. They bond. Tyrion gets to Winterfell, tells Bran, hey, use this modified thing. Robb is mean to him. He leaves. Runs into Catelyn. Catelyn is like, arrest him! You are all my people of the Tully and the, all the things. Who else was in this episode? Hold on. Cersei, Ned face off. Ned searching for clues, and Peter delivers the beautiful, like, not trusting me was the best thing you did. That
Wait,
one.
Peter Baelish. Sorry,
Baelish,
I got
yeah,
so
that guy.
confused.
Oh no, I accidentally dropped. Okay, that's fine. I can't think about that. What else happens? What's Cersei up to? Oh, Sansa witnesses the tournament. Ned sees like Arya on the stairs practicing her water dancing. She's not very good. That's all I got for you.
Okay, that's okay. That's more than a minute, but I gave you a second longer because you dropped something. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
I also got when you said Peter, I was because we were just talking about Peter Dinklage. I went to like
Yep.
Peter Dinklage, and then I forgot that it's Pattaya Baelish. Peter Baelish, but the
Littlefinger?
audiobook
Yeah, no.
narrator says Pattaya, and it is just super annoying. So it's like
Oh, that's so wrong.
yes, it is very wrong. I swear one time he definitely said petard, and I was like
At least be consistent.
hoisted on his own, like it was just it's the audiobooks are an experience. I mean, the dude's dead now, so RIP, I guess, but like if the next book ever comes out. I'm hoping to get a better narrator.
Maybe Peter
Damn.
Dinklage.
Oh yeah, yeah, Peter.
Dude.
Oh, that would be so good. But also, the guy who plays Viserys, while like unbearable in the show, he does the audiobook for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, like the Dunk and Egg stories, and he's very good at that.
Okay.
Aw.
Yeah.
Icon.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Are we ready to jump into the actual episode now?
Do you want
Yeah.
Emily to try and summarize?
I don't know if I want to make Emily do anything. Like,
Well, you made Kate do it.
no, I didn't. I
you?
gave Kate the option. So, Emily, would you like to try summarizing the episode or add on to anything Harmouth missed? Or
I honestly, I really feel like you covered it.
Yay! Never have I ever had those words said to me about my summaries.
I think like
Yeah.
maybe no, I mean like
you
yeah.
did pretty good, actually.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I really can't like.
It's
No,
okay.
nothing real intense, yeah.
No pressure. So, the episode opens. It's Bran, and he's walking, and Harmouth is like, "Oh, is this his brain thing?" Like, instead of saying the word dream, she was like, "Is this his brain thing?"
I got really excited
I
because I was like,
actually?
"Is this the first three-eyed raven?" And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. So
Oh my
exactly, he
God.
follows this raven crow thing, and it's just hanging out, but it turns, and there's 3 eyes, and we're like,
I remember that fucking with me
Whoa.
so much the first time. I was like, "Fuck no, what is this?
Yeah.
no,
That's so
no,
funny.
it is
Because I didn't really know
weird.
like how much magic weird shit was in the show, and I was like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck is that? What is
Oh
Well,
that?"
the
my
answer is
God.
not enough, unfortunately, for my liking.
Clearly,
but
yes.
Oh my
No.
god.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a thing.
Ooh.
I don't know if this is going to happen in the 5th episode or if the show just doesn't do this. And if the show just doesn't do this, then I'm mad. But like, are we
Okay.
going to see Bran's dream? Like, you know what I mean? Or like in
you mean the
some
dream
way
that I obsessed over, and you were like, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's like a Bran chapter that is like filled to the brim with like so much symbolism and foreshadowing and all the things. But that was before like, okay, I was depressed, like I was going through it, and also it was before I like fully cared, you know? So, and it's a
Mhm.
very
I
early
get
chapter
that.
early on in the book, and the entire episode is just Nav trying to like be like, so what do you think about this? And me being like, I didn't actually think about it. I just kind of read it and like moved on. And it's
Yes.
yeah,
It's very
I don't-
like prophecy heavy dream, like prophetic dream type of
Mhm.
chapter, and
I
that
didn't
happens.
register any
That's
of
like
it.
we like the whole chapter is his dream, and then at the end of the chapter, he wakes up from his coma,
Oh gosh.
and he's already woken up from his coma. So that means
Wait, I thought that happened later. I didn't realize that was like immediately
No.
after his fall.
no, he like sees into the heart of winter, and he's super scared, and then he wakes up, and that's why he names his wolf Summer, because he's like opposite of winter. I want a summer near me.
So they just
That
don't
makes
do
sense, 'cause
that
that
in
was
the
such a
fucking
stupid
show. That was such a stupid name.
Yeah, like
Well,
when
I
you
didn't
don't
get
have
it.
context, it doesn't make sense. But
It's like,
like
what
when
the
you're
fuck?
like,
Yeah.
oh, this
Yeah, it was
poor
weird.
like 7-year-old was haunted by like, you know, winter
Lots
as
of winter, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna keep a tally
Oh
of
god.
most. What's the word when you don't include something? Exclusion. I was like, what's the opposite of inclusion?
Opposite of
I'm-
inclusive.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep a tally or like a list of the worst exclusions from the show, and I think right now that has to be it because I really wanted to fucking see that because that shit was cool. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
Oh, I'm glad you
Brands.
acknowledge that now, 5 years later.
Okay, I have acknowledged it so many times since. Like,
It's you know what? We should go back and read that chapter. Okay, that's a
that's a later discussion.
read.
But
chapter
anyways,
unfair, though,
16 of
because-
I think that-
GOT.
Or yes, continue.
I love that
I was gonna
chapter
say-
so much. I remember which number of chapter it is in the book.
That's funny.
Sorry,
Emily, what were you
Emily.
gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say Harmon, I felt the exact same way. Especially, I don't know how many seasons it took for me because I was like just grudgingly watching the show. And I remember my friend who was on this episode telling me, especially the scene with Viserys, where the woman was talking about all the things that she's seen, blah blah blah, and she was like, "This is
Mhm.
really important because these things are actually maybe gonna happen in the show," and da 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 da. Like these
Whoa.
are
Right.
like not symbolism, but like prophecy,
Foreshadowing.
prophesizing, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
lame. Like, I can't, like, I don't get it. This is stupid. I hated this scene because, in the beginning it was like, oh, it's porn with dragons. HBO is so cool for doing fantasy and boobs and whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck is this show? Like, this is awful.
Oh my God.
Also, I never need full frontal male nudity. I hate it. But they really seem to like it a lot.
That's so funny.
Well,
oh my God,
so-
speak your truth.
It's gender equality all up in this HBO.
That's the tagline.
Exactly.
I think there's a lot more penises than there are full frontal women. I would say so.
Oh, well, okay, maybe that's true.
You got a lot of boobs.
But they get they're always in a brothel. Like they're always in a brothel.
They are.
That's
Especially the
true.
first couple seasons. There were a lot of things I didn't need to see. I was like, I don't want this. No, nobody wants this. Who wants this?
Oh my God.
So
Fair.
yeah.
Okay.
Ugh.
So Bran wakes up from this dream and old Nan is hanging out there, and I was glad to see her again because she was in the last episode, but she only has one line, so it was whatever. Theon
The
comes
little
in and
Lord
is
is dreaming again. I think that's what she says.
yeah.
Exactly like that.
Certainly. You should audition for the remake.
Of Old Nan. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, but Theon comes in and he's like, Robb commands your presence in the Great Hall, and Bran's like, I don't wanna. And he's like, well, Robb's in charge, and I do what he tells me to do, and you do what I tell you to do. And it's this whole, thing, and then it's okay, you have to do this, you have no choice. So then they bring
Because
Hodor
there's a
in.
guest, yeah.
This is the first time that Hodor is in the show. Harmouth, what did you think of the casting for Hodor? Does Hodor match Hodor in your head?
Sorta, I think. I think I just kind of bought in instantly. I didn't really stop to think about it. I think so. Yeah.
And the actor who plays Hodor is he's in Kate's favorite show, Our Flag Means Death, and he's gone on to do a lot of cool things. And didn't Kate
She's
meet
met him multiple
Yeah.
times.
Wow.
She's talked to him about her podcast. She's given him bracelets and stickers and everything.
Yeah.
Apparently he's very nice.
That's so amazing.
Yeah,
Aw.
any interview or thing I've seen with him, he's always super kind. So
Yeah, he seems cool.
Aw.
He's
Yeah.
also written a book about being on Game of Thrones too. So I was like,
he
Really?
has? I did not know about that.
Mhm.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Wow.
yeah, that came out
Um,
last year, I think.
Oh, cool. Maybe I'll look into that.
He's
Because I
writing
like
at a
seeing the
quicker
behind the
pace.
scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, so cute.
Yeah, so Hodor and Bran make their way to the Great Hall, and Tyrion is there, and Robb, and also Yoren is there from the Night's Watch, and Robb is like, oh, any man of the Night's Watch is welcome here, but then Tyrion's like, oh, I get it. He's welcome, but I'm not. And because the last time Tyrion left, he was, it was all jolly. Things have changed quickly and turned hostile because in that interim they discovered the hair and put it together. Maybe the Lannisters were behind Bran's fall and that whole thing. So that's why Robb's not acting super nice to him. But Tyrion has got this plan for a saddle for Bran so that he can still ride a horse even if he's disabled, and it's a really nice thing to do. And then Robb kind of shifts his tone and is like, okay, actually you can stay here. And Tyrion's like, no, thank you.
Too late now.
Yeah. So
that was really sweet. That was nice.
Yeah. The one thing, I think I had a note about this. Oh, it made me remember in the book. I'm going to say a lot of that, Emily.
Sorry, Emily. We're really annoying about that.
I would be too if I'd read it.
But in the book, in this chapter, they're George R. R. Martin does this weird red herring where Grey Wolf, Robb's wolf, is super hostile towards Tyrion to make us think that Tyrion is actually bad, evil, or whatever.
Right.
But it turns out that that's not really actually a thing. So I'm glad they kept it out, but it made me remember it's like one of those there's a bunch of things in the first book especially that are like George R. R. Martin planted them, but then you can clearly see he didn't go down that direction. Like there's this whole thing about like Jaime being super ambitious and wanting to be the Warden of the East and this whole thing, and it like never pans out as like a real thing. But there's all these weird, I wonder if this was like a thing George R. R. Martin had planned, but then he was like, no, actually Tyrion's just amazing and we're gonna like just go with that.
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying like maybe he'd actually planned for Tyrion to be behind the stuff sort of thing.
I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Not that Tyrion is flawless, but yeah.
Right. Like make him start. Yeah. I don't have words, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so that was
maybe.
like basically my only thought. Did any of you have any thoughts on the scene? We get the title.
Oh my god.
of the,
Okay.
of the episode, which is not as bad in the context that Tyrion says it in, as like it just seems on his face, but it's still not my favorite thing.
Yeah, I don't like I can appreciate Tyrion saying it, but I'm still not like, oh, and then we should have made it the title, you know?
Yeah.
Because Tyrion saying it means something different than it being written as the title, you know? The thing that I didn't like about the scene, which has nothing to do with those important things, is that this whole chapter, this whole episode, there's the word. Brain can't switch that easily, apparently. They keep pronouncing things in ways that I don't like. And it starts in this scene where, because we say, like, Balon Greyjoy, and they say Balin. And I'm like, are we bailing someone out of jail? Like, what's Balin? Like,
yeah, but that's just because I said things in a certain way, and then
I know.
you, like, heard that, and like, who's to say that I am right, or...
But... I don't like it, because now I have 4 years of hearing things one way, and especially because, like, Emily, you don't know this, but I already struggle with saying people's names for characters specifically. Like, I am already bad at saying characters' names consistently one way. So on top of that, like, now that I'm like, no, this is Balon Greyjoy, and now you're gonna give me Balin? Like, I can't, there were so many of them. Like, and I noted all of them. Actually, I'm gonna give them all at once, so that you guys don't have to hear me bring this point up again and again. Okay. Okay, so, because that's gonna get annoying really fast. Okay, Balin, then later on, they're like, Dothrak instead of, and I don't like,
yeah. It's like a rack instead of a rock.
Yes, because
yeah, they say Dothraki. Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels very like, it just, for that one specifically, it's very like white person trying to pronounce like an ethnic name. It's very, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels that way to me, especially because, like, I feel like when me and Nav say it, we kind of put like our own accents on it a little bit.
Yeah, we put like our
how do you guys say it? I want to hear
I say like Vice Dothrak, which is
we literally put our own accents on it.
Slight difference to it, but it's how it makes, like, people say like Khal Drogo, I say Khal Drogo, which is like a ka sound, which is like a sound in Punjabi and Hindi, but like it's like the like people's last name, like Khan, you must have heard it. Like, that's, I'm using the same like origins there. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a very me problem. It's not even a problem. It's just something that I don't like.
Yeah, these are words invented by a white guy. So like,
yeah. And then Ashai, or like, they just said it weirdly. They like say like Ashai, but like we just say Ashai. So
yeah, I think that was just the one person that said it weird. Like, I think they
they don't say that consistently.
Oh, that's a place. Like Melisandre of Ashai. Like, you might have heard that.
Got it.
Right?
Got it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, what are the other ones? Hold on.
Sounds like acai.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh my god, was that it? Was there only? Oh no. Then at one point they say Harrenhal, and it just really bothered me.
I think that just might be the British accent thing. That might not even be.
Yeah, I
Wait,
just
how do you
didn't
guys say
like it.
Harrenhal?
We say
Harrenhal.
Harrenhal, but I think it's because it was like just a British accent.
No. It was
Oh.
Kate. No. There was two things that I didn't like about it. There was the British accent where it was like they didn't say the L at the end. It was like Heron Ha, you know? But then that was fine because I knew it was going to be British because it's British actors, right?
Yeah, I was like, you're gonna have a problem with this show. It's all British.
No. But then the second problem was instead of like Heron, they did like Harren. Well, I guess that's also the British. Okay, so for that word, I guess my problem was just the British accent. I think those were all the words, but I'm also gonna give, not preface, a postface. I'm gonna give a postface instead of a preface.
You might want to just say postscript or like
Okay, whatever. It's okay. A problem that I like have, like, I don't know, it's like a sensory thing, mind thing, is like, I'm very particular about the way that words are said and the way that I say words. And so there's certain times where I hear someone, like, I hate the word Tuesday because everyone says it Tuesday. And I think that sounds bad. Like, most people say, like, Tuesday. But to me, that just sounds too much like Tuesday. Like, so this is just who I am as a person. So I think I'm just hypersensitive. Tuesday. I'm very particular about, like, pronouncing the T and the U and the E and the S. So anyway, but basically what I'm saying is I'm very particular about the way that things are said. So sometimes this kind of stuff comes up where I'm like, why are you saying Harrenhal? Like, you know?
That's
anyway.
a good British accent, though.
Oh, thank you. I do it all the time, so I hope I'm getting better at it slowly. Like,
anyway,
I'm done. Exactly. Anyway, I'm done being annoying now. I just didn't like some of the ways that they said things.
Cool. Glad we got that.
I hope.
No, I'm
don't
sure
say them
people
like
relate
that
to that.
Oh my god, no. It's okay. It's
I mean,
okay.
I just
literally
complained
say
about the audiobook
Dothraki.
narrator and his pronunciation, so like, you're not alone in this.
Yeah.
So the Balon thing that like happens actually out in the yard. So Tyrion leaves, gets on his horse, and Theon follows him. And Tyrion's asking him, "Oh, where's Lady Stark? Clearly, she is not here. Like, what is going on?" And then they go into the whole like exposition about like, "Oh, y'all like." Greyjoys burnt the Lannister fleet, but then everybody ganged up on the Greyjoys and they lost the first rebellion, and that's why you heard the word here. Like, I get it. Like, everybody who's watching the show needs to know this, but like, we already know this.
To be fair, I did think he was a Stark for like the first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah,
and
no,
that's
fair, because they
valid.
don't like explain any like.
And they all
they don't
looked
say
the same
anything.
to me in the beginning. I was like, cool,
Real?
bunch of white
Yeah.
dudes. Neat.
You don't get all the like. I think we get like Bran's chapter, and where he's like, you know, well, we get a lot of exposition in the book too. It's just it was so long
just
ago. We
feels
don't
different.
remember.
It's lore dump. Yeah, you need to do
Yeah.
it somehow for
Yeah.
people to move forward with the show. Yeah, and I remember this being very interesting originally, but at this point, seeing it again, I was like, Tyrion's really mean. Like, why is he picking fights with everyone at this point?
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
this is
funny.
this is not the Tyrion that I remember. This is not my
Oh my
Tyrion.
god.
No.
yeah. I do have to say,
That's
like,
funny.
But I was
they,
like, damn.
Tyrion in the book is a lot rougher around the edges than in the show. They really like kind of toned it all down, and they just wanted
Maybe
to
for
be
Peter
like, the
Dinklage.
guy everybody loves.
Yeah.
Like without doubt. But yeah, so maybe this is closer to book Tyrion than it is to later show Tyrion.
Probably.
He does get a recommendation for a sex worker from Theon. This is our first mention of Roz, which
Man.
comes up later in another inventage scene for the show, but is interesting.
Oh my god.
So and then he like Tyrion throws some money at Theon to be like, your next tumble with Roz is on me, and it's like a weird.
Yeah.
It's
it
HBO
felt
being
so-
HBO, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like I really feel like a lot of the extra sex stuff, the crude stuff, the whatever is like,
Mhm.
'cause we fucking can. And I'm like, thanks, guys, because
Yeah,
I mean,
and also
some
like
ways this
throwing
was-
a coin in somebody's face is just
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think they were just trying to try shit out because I mean, fantasy and, you know, mature audiences hadn't,
Mhm.
romantasy wasn't a thing yet. So,
Right.
you know, they're just
Yeah.
doing what they could, I guess.
Though, like, a lot of have there been romantasy adaptations?
I'm sure there has been. I'm just being
Like, I don't feel like
I'm-
there's a lot like large scale, well known ones. Does the
Mhm.
Six of Crows? No, what is? Does that one count? What is that? What's that show on Netflix for that series? What's it called?
Isn't it called Six of Crows?
Is it called Six of Crows? Okay, if it is, then like,
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
does that count as romantasy? I think, but it's not like because
don't
it's
know
like
that.
young adult, so it's not like real romantasy. It's just like YA.
And that was also recent, right? Like,
yeah, I'm
if
trying
I'm
to
not
think.
mistaken.
Like,
So
I don't think. Yeah, but I'm going down a whole thing. Never mind. We're back to the show,
yeah,
and we're
because
back
either
on
way,
Wall.
like that's more recent, and like this was however many years ago.
Oh yeah,
like,
no,
15
I'm just
years
saying
ago?
like
Yeah.
I would much prefer seeing like straight up romantasy than whatever this is.
Oh, sure, for sure.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
it's,
think
you
that was
know,
the point I
written
was trying to
into the
make, and then I
plot.
went down a whole thing of like, is there a romantasy show that I've seen?
That's funny.
So we're now at the wall, and it's the boys out in the yard practicing, and Sam shows up, and everybody's like, oh, he sucks, and he introduces himself, and he's like, oh, I'm just, don't hit me, please. But then, of course, Sir Alizar's whole thing in this scene is just forcing people to hit him, even though he yields, and it just sucks.
Mhm.
Eventually, John does step in, but he doesn't love it either, because he's like, what are you doing here? And then it's not until later that we get Sam's sad story, which is actually sad, and
Mhm.
it will never make sense to me why his dad didn't let him be a maester instead, because just whatever.
Yeah, but I think it's just like his dad hated him, and he was like, I don't want any chance of you ever coming back, you know?
I guess. And then all I think about in these scenes, because they're like in the north, they're at the wall, I'm like, why is nobody wearing a hat? Because my head's always cold. And they're also like fighting, like, where are the helmets? But then I immediately remember, oh right, this is a show, we need to see people's expressions. That's why. And
my
that's just
God.
one of those things I'm gonna have to get over. Like Harmeth and her pronunciation things.
Yeah. Do you want to hear my one thought during this scene?
I think we can guess, but yes.
No, it actually, you can't guess. I think that Kit's acting during the scene was great, because like there would be like, you would see like Sam interacting with like Pip or Gran or what's that one other guy? Raph? Was that his name?
Rast.
Rast. Yes, him. Yeah, because Raph was someone else. Okay, I don't have time to think about that. But like you would see them interacting, and then like there would be John in the back. And what did I write down? He had like a "what the fuck, are you serious" face, and then he had like a determined face, and I just was like, wow. I think what is happening. Okay, let me explain what's happening. I think I'm finally over like, oh, this man is really hot, so now I can actually think about like what the character is doing. Because then I was actually thinking about his acting, you know? And I was
There's
like,
a balance.
Exactly, there's a balance, but there was no balance before. It was just like, wow, John is on the screen, and that's it. That's
Hottie.
head empty, no thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. But like I was thinking about that, and I was like, oh my God, like that's like I just liked seeing that, like having them in the foreground and then him in the background, like acting his face off, and I was like, slay.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was my one thought during this scene.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's funny. I like invented a conversation that didn't happen, and I talked about it in the last episode, which is I thought, Harmeth, you had said something about John being super hot in our group chat with everybody planning this recording. And then I remember being like, what was it? But I just remembered it's not that. It's that Emily said she was going to listen to our previous episodes, and immediately my thought was like, oh my God, her thoughts on John versus Harmeth's thoughts on John. And I just didn't say anything because
Yeah,
it was so funny.
that's okay.
That's so. Oh yeah. That's funny. Yeah.
It's okay, because my friend on this episode too was in love with Kit Harington.
Oh my
Aw.
God.
Oh, the lovely Lord Snow. And I was like, fuck this guy. He was like, oh, okay.
Oh my
That's super
god.
funny.
I was like, yeah, I was like, not my vibe. And I mean, honestly, still isn't. I can see it. But yeah, at the time I was like, why are people so into this guy?
Yeah. Okay,
Listen,
and then
we love a brooding lord. Soon to be
Sure.
lord.
Hey, I listen to pop punk. I was of the emo generation. I like the Fallout Boy. Come on.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just not
But-
John. Just not John's iteration of that.
No.
So John stops the fighting and it's like, okay, break it up, done for today. And they like, so then it's John, Pip, and Gran, and they're talking to Sam and they're like, what the fuck, dude? What is wrong with you? Like, why didn't you fight back? And then Sam's just like, well, I'm a coward. Like, that's just like kind of his self-identification thing for the whole beginning of the series thing. But then what's funny is then they start being like, Sam leaves. He says, I'm a coward. He leaves. And then they're like, oh my God, people might, they saw us talking to him. They might think we're cowards too. Like, it's contagious. Like,
High school.
Yeah. It was so like, what? This is
But
nonsensical.
how old are these guys supposed to be? Teenagers anyway. This is their high school.
yeah.
Oh my god.
It's-
This is their high school experience. You go to an all boys high school.
Truly. They sneak out, go to the brothels at night. Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's kind of right. Yeah.
All right. So now we cut to Dany and her people arriving at Vice Dothrak. And
Ooh.
it's her and Jorah riding. And Viserys is there. And he's like, this is my army. They should be marching the other direction. Yada, yada, yada. And Dany's asking Jorah about, like, would that work? Like, if my brother had the army, could he take over the Seven Kingdoms? And Jorah's like, well, they don't like that water thing, though. But if they did get across, it's likely that Robert would rush into battle with them, and that is their forte. So it's possible. It is possible. With the right leader, it's possible. But this whole episode is Daenerys realizing that Viserys is not the right leader, so yes.
Yep.
What is?
Yeah. Is this
Yeah.
when they get settled in? Oh yeah, this is the sexposition scene.
Yeah,
Ugh.
but before the sexposition scene, I really liked there was a moment where like Dany's like, these are my people, like these are my people, like don't talk like that about them. And then immediately like Viserys says something along the lines of, they're my army. So it's like her version of them being her people versus his version of them being his people. And it just was a nice little contrast of like, you know, how they see people and where their head's at. It
Yeah.
just was nice.
Yes.
I liked it.
Cut to sexposition, and I don't even know this person's name. What is her name?
I
Do we know
I
her
literally
name?
don't know her name.
Is it
Subtitles
Doria?
didn't tell me.
Is this Doria?
Could be. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. I don't think anybody says the name. Oh, it sucks. Really.
Nobody
Okay.
said the name in this episode.
Yeah. So they're in the bathtub having sex, but also like having really weird conversations. Not.
She's obsessed. Girl, get over it. She's obsessed with dragons, and we don't know why.
Right. So she's
He's
asking
like,
him
no,
about
they're
it.
not real.
And he's telling her about like, oh, how their skulls were in the Red Keep and like they got smaller as the years went on and yada yada yada. And then she's like, oh, what happened to them? And he's like, oh, they're probably like crushed and burnt and don't
I don't
exist
care.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's bragging about how he used to know all the names.
Yeah.
And she's like getting turned on by this. And it was the most weird moment. I was like, what?
This is weird. I was gonna say pillow talk, but it's not pillow talk. It's bath talk. I don't even know what talk. But she like drips a candle on him and it burns. So it's like
It
the whole
burns.
yeah, like he's not a real dragon. He
Fire
can
cannot burn
burn.
a dragon.
Yeah. Because in the first
Oh my
episode, they
God.
did that thing with Daddy, like going into a steaming hot bath, and
Bathtub.
she's like, "I'm a dragon. I don't burn," and you know,
Mhm.
the guy sucks. And she's talking about all the
the
things she's
worst.
seen. She's like, I've seen pirates, I've seen dragon glass, and I've seen a man who can change his face. Yeah.
Ooh.
So we like
That
get a
shit's
mention of
cool.
the faceless men, dragon glass, which like dragon glass is not that rare, is it? Or maybe I guess in in the Dothraki Sea, it's super rare. It's like a Westerosi thing. I don't know.
Right.
In the show it is until later.
Well,
Is
it's
it?
not. I think it is rare. Not necessarily that it's like rare, but it's just like nobody really like because nobody really has it other than
Okay.
like we find
Yeah.
it north of the wall.
I guess I'm
and,
in
like,
my
yeah,
head. I was
that's
like,
it,
it's
yeah.
not as rare as that, but maybe it is.
Yeah.
pretty
Pretty rare.
Like I think
'Cause
it's
also
rare,
kind of
but not
important,
like
yeah.
as rare as other things. I guess like
Mhm.
like
If
it's
I
not
remember-
like it's not like a fucking like Valerian steel sword, but it is like. Like I guess it's rare, but it's not necessarily like rare and also super super valuable sort of thing.
Right. Okay, anyway,
Maybe.
that's regardless. So yeah, we get hints of these things that will become relevant later. So I don't know about the pirate though. I mean, we have pirates, but I don't know if this particular pirate is anybody.
Pirate. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's someone
She doesn't
that, like,
mention the name. It's just something about like, oh, the
Yeah,
silk, so colored silk sails. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was
I
actually going to ask you. I was going to be like, is that a reference to someone specific? But
What is Davos's friend pirate? His name is Salador San. I don't think he has silk sails, but
Salazar, yeah.
that's the only pirate I can think of right now.
okay.
But
Interesting.
pirates are plentiful in this world. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, and oh yeah, and then like the scene kind of devolves into him berating the sex worker, and it's just like this
It's great.
horrible.
Why did I pay for you? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it finally ends, thankfully, ages later.
Mm-hmm.
And we cut to Sansa and her septa walking in the Iron Throne room, and they're just, it's kind of like it's like a little bit of a lesson, but it's also like hey, once you're queen, you're gonna hang out there, and then you're gonna have babies, and they'll hang out there. And then she's like, but what if I only have girls? And the septa's like, you will not only have girls. But then she's like, what if? Like, yeah. And Sansa's clearly very worried about this. I mean, I get it. Her whole worth is based on her reproducing heirs, so it
Boy heirs,
yeah.
not even
exactly.
girls.
And she's already so worried about the Joffrey stuff. She's like, well, he hates me.
He
And then,
hates me.
like,
Uh-huh.
even if we ever, like, end up getting married, whatever, like, it's just her anxiety spiral. Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
I feel bad. But then she
Poor
like
Sansa.
So
but then she's like, no, I won't ever forgive my father. And I was like, what?
yeah, and
About
she
Lady.
tells the septa to shut up, and it's like the bratty Sansa that of
Yeah.
early season 1. Well, early seasons or definitely season 1 coming
Yeah.
through.
I don't really remember this in the book. And
Well-
it kind of makes me worried about what they're doing with her character.
Well, I don't know if this exact scene was in the book, but she was kind of unbearable in the first book.
Well-
she
No, I didn't have a thought. You go.
no, I was just gonna say I think this is the first season, especially the first couple episodes, I would say for the young women, there was not a lot of development there. It was very much based on stereotypes and juxtaposing the two Arya and Sansa against each other to
Right.
define them and say
Mm-hmm.
one's a tomboy, one's a girly girl. That's all you need to know for the season. Bye bye. And you're like, wait, no,
Yeah.
they need more than that.
Right.
But I forgot how quickly Sansa turned. I didn't realize it was this early from when she was in Winterfell. Like, I want to marry a prince and go to King's Landing, and now she's already here, and she's like, oh no, what? I'm so anxious now. So I forgot that was so quick in the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Because I always thought it because. I don't know, those first couple episodes where she was desperately in love with Joffrey, and I was like, wow, this is. And then it got real bad real quick. So I forgot
Yeah.
how quick it was.
Yeah, because, like, even in the book, it was, like, she definitely bought in, from what I remember, like, she definitely bought into the Joffrey stuff super quickly, because she already was, like, and, like, in the book, she had, like, Jane Poole, do we just not get Jane, like, her friend?
She mentions
friend.
Jane Poole. She talks about how Jane Poole's mother only had daughters.
Yes, she.
Right,
then that's
but where
all.
is Jane? Like, where are these scenes with her friend? so that it's
Yeah.
heart-wrenching when we send her off to, we still don't know where.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know if she even came to King's Landing with them in the show. 'cause
right.
We've
Okay.
literally not seen her.
So I guess she didn't. It just literally
Yeah.
was her friend, and it just was like an extra person in the scenes for her to like vibe with. And then
That would have
when
been
everything,
nice that Sansa had a friend.
Yeah.
Versus, her and her sister just fighting the whole time.
exactly. And then when
Mhm.
everything went down, like Jane got sent somewhere, but we don't actually know. Like he never really clarifies what happens to her. But
Yeah.
at the beginning it's nice. So like I remember like Jane.
I love
so,
the instant switch. At the beginning, it's nice.
positive thinking. But like Jane, like it basically is like they find out like Robert presents like, hey, let's marry your daughter and my son. And then like Jane is like, oh my god, Sansa, like you're gonna be a queen. And like Sansa's kind of like at first, like for like one chapter she's like, oh, what? But then like immediately she's like, okay, like I'm gonna be in this role and it's gonna be great. So like I do remember her buying into that pretty quickly, but I don't think it was like such a quick like, I'm gonna be mad at my father about this forever. Like that line just really hit me of like, no, I won't forgive my father. Like I just don't remember
I think
it
that
being
is
so
the show invention.
like that
She was
just
mad-
feels really drastic really quickly. But maybe it's just like they have less episodes. They just need to already show that she's kind of losing her loyalty to them, I guess. I don't know.
And just remind me real quick, she was mad because he had to kill Lady or
Yeah.
or because she's in
Yeah.
King's Landing. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
he had to kill her wolf.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that it wasn't
Which is,
something else
it's
yet.
also
Okay.
weird that she's like, well, I mean, she can blame him, but then she not at all blames Joffrey. Like, she's like, oh, he
Mhm.
hates me reasonably. Like, what? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
And
get
then
a
she
little bit
brings
more
up-
exposition about who built the
Yeah.
Iron Throne and the keep, and also about her uncle and her grandfather being murdered in the keep and all of that.
Mhm.
A lot of info. Oh yeah, and actually we kind of knew this from Jamie and Ned's chatter last episode, right?
Mhm.
Like Ned comes
Yeah,
into
we did. Yeah.
yeah, and Jamie like for some reason is like, oh, I was here when they burnt your brother and your dad. Like, it
Casual,
was-
guys. Small talk. I bring that up all the
Exactly.
time with small talk with my coworkers on the council.
Jamie
Like,
is no good at small talk.
he's no good at talk. Period. Like,
yeah.
but also like yeah, like this scene with Sansa. I think it also just like solidifies like the way that she kind of is in the book versus the show, where like even the fact that she kind of brings up like, oh, this was the room where my grandfather and uncle were burned alive, like whatever, but like she brings that up, and I feel like book Sansa would never do that. Like book Sansa would just kind of ignore that or treat it as like their great sacrifice. Like I just feel like they're making show Sansa a lot less like dreamy and like
Oh yeah.
what's the word? Like, I guess like illusioned.
Yeah,
Like,
she
like
romanticizes
naive?
life heavily.
in the like all of her
Oh.
chapters are her being like knights in shining armor and like very like it's very romantic. So then later events kind of hit different because she starts
Sure.
off romanticizing everything, and then her life goes down the drain and there's literally
Yeah.
nothing to romanticize. But like it's just kind of like, okay, so she's just like a prissy highborn girl, like that like romanticism is kind of gone a little bit. I
Mhm.
don't know. So it just feels like
I
a different character maybe. Or maybe I'm just not seeing it right now.
Again, writing very poor for her originally. I think I really, really, really strongly disliked her in the beginning. And people were like, no, she's
Mm.
really great. She's one of my favorite characters. And I was like, I don't get it. So I
Yeah.
think you do see that eventually. And then, yes, it, things come to a head and multiple times for her, honestly. And then you see the change and the maturity and the whatever from her. So, but that would be hard unless she had someone to bounce that off of or talk about
Yeah.
how she thinks things are. And I think that line especially was like, was not the character. It was exposition. We have to put things in here for the viewers and stuff like that. So I think that makes it unfair to her to take up some of her lines to just drop lore. So
Yeah.
they really underserved, I would say, a lot of these characters in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Before I get derailed, the next scene is the small council, and here,
oh man, this was wild to see again.
Right?
This council, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
You know, it's funny because this might have been the most efficient council, at least that I've seen so far. Because then the next council is like I remember being like, this council can't get anything done, like what's going on, and then it gets worse in later books, and I was like, oh, maybe that first council was like the to beat, like, you know? Anyway.
Yeah.
The epitome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the hand wants no hand and the hand's turny, basically, is the overall theme of this.
Beautiful.
Because it's going to cost them a hell of a lot of money. But the good thing is it's bringing business into the city. So, like, there's money being traded and all of that stuff. But it's also causing a lot of ruckus and people are wilding out here, so they need more guards, and that's why Janos Slint is here, even though he's not named, but like that's who he is, and he's here to ask for more guards. And they're like, okay, we'll give you 50 more while the tourney's here, and Ned's like, I'll also give you 20 of my own guard. And this is the beginning of Ned like doling out all his protection to the point where then at the end of the season he has no protection, and then it's just yeah.
Ned, baby, what are you doing?
He doesn't know. He shouldn't be there. So many times it's like, you're not supposed to be here, man. You are not meant for this.
Yeah. You gotta just give Robert the finger and get out of here. Like, but in like a nice bro way. Like, you know what I mean? Get him drunk and be like, bro, like in a bro way. Yeah, but in like a fun way. Like, we're still bros. We can still, like, you can come party with me, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. What's sad is that he later does try, but then Robert ends up dying and then it's just all goes downhill.
Yeah.
He's like, I guess I withdraw my resignation. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Okay, speaking of, you know, Robert dying and the whole thing, I don't know which scene I wrote this down in, but I think it's around this time in the episode. At some point, someone mentions that someone had a wound sustained in a bear hunt.
It was someone in the genealogy book.
Oh, okay, so that's later. But anyway,
that's the next scene.
Okay, I guess I'll just say it because I've already said half of it. Yeah. But I'm like, is this foreshadowing for Robert's death? Is this the show trying to get me to think about?
I mean, even like Sam talking about his dad taking him out on a hunting accident. Like all of this is foreshadowing for Robert's hunting accident.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about that. That's funny.
Yeah. So the small council meeting is just, you know, they're done. And then Pycelle is like, oh, it's so hot. And then Ned's like, okay, so did you kill Jon Arryn? Basically, like, he's very...
Yeah.
He does not.
Not John. Ned has no... Yeah. There's no chill. There's no nonchalance.
Yeah.
Like...
And he's like just asking about all this. What was he doing and what did he ask about? And he finds out about this book he was reading, which is a genealogy, which is what, you know, like... led to the whole, oh yeah, they're supposed to have black hair. They don't. That means incest.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
The seed is strong.
Exactly. All of that, God.
My God.
I was talking to Harmeth about this while we were watching. I actually don't know if this is like a thing in the show or not, but like in the book, we find out that Pycelle, while he didn't like begin the killing of Jon Arryn, he did not help him along because he knew he was trying to save Cersei and Jaime and all of that. And he's giving a lot of information to Ned here, which he could have just kept to himself, which kind of like contradicts later information. But maybe he's like, oh, Ned's not smart enough to figure this out. I'll just give him random stuff.
Like, it's kind of like Littlefinger, where he thinks he's giving him crumbs to like sort of thing. But like,
yeah, but Ned's smarter than they think. So they're underestimating him.
Yeah, okay.
Like, if he's
similar.
actually trying to save Jaime and Cersei's secret, then he wouldn't give him the book of genealogy and tell him
And
the seed
save
is
the
strong
seed is
information.
strong, and yeah.
Understood.
Right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he does write it off as like, oh, just the ramblings of a dying man or whatever, but
Yeah,
it is still
weird.
information for Ned.
Yeah, it's a very specific book.
Yeah. Also,
that only
like
talks about one thing. So.
He also does
Yeah,
keep calling it
literally.
a ponderous tone, so maybe a tome rather, and maybe that's why he's like trying to undersell it, like he's trying to get Ned to
Right.
not be interested in
But
it.
then the next thing he says, because they were talking about the poison, and I remember writing this down the first time, poison is a woman's weapon, but then also used by eunuchs. You know Varys is a eunuch,
Right,
right?
That
And I
was
like,
the
he does direct all that
funniest.
energy that way.
yeah,
That
so
was
I think
so
he's doing it
funny.
in his own way. And
Right.
did we know that before, or was this the first time we had heard that?
I think this is the first time.
I feel like it was too, because it was very just like lore drop.
Yeah,
boom,
first
and you're
time
like,
in the
I'm
show. Yeah,
what? Why? Why is this important?
yeah.
Oh my
'Cause
god.
bigotry. I don't know. It's just yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, obviously, but
Yes,
was
I know.
wow,
like
still
that's the only
very-
possible.
very ham-handed,
And especially-
as Kate and I like to say.
And especially in this episode too, like with this episode title, it's like, oh, okay, so pulling this information out in this episode is you implying this,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Also, this, like, despite having seen this entire show multiple times, this was the first time that I actually like took note of Pycelle's chain, like his Maester's chain.
Me too.
And
how
it was-
many he has?
Yeah, how many he has and how they actually are varied and not just the same chain link over and over
Yeah.
again. Like, I was like, okay, you know what? This time they read the book and they did the thing. Like,
Apparently, you know a lot somehow, old man. Yeah.
Ugh,
and
all that
he's-
knowledge.
They go to like Pycelle's office and he's got this weird. Okay, this distracted me. Up on his, like behind his desk on the wall, there's like an anatomy figure, but it's not like human anatomy. It's like maybe like a pig or like a chicken. I don't know. I know those things look very
I didn't
different.
even notice that.
But there's just like kind of guts hanging, not hanging, but like painted on the wall, right, Harmit? Right?
Yeah.
oh,
You're the
something like
science
that.
person. You would know more what animal it might be. But I was like, okay, I
Yeah.
guess that's their like science poster
See,
in the lab.
the Maester's room. That's funny. See, I didn't notice that until you pointed it out to me. And once you pointed it out to me, it was kind of like his head was covering half of it. So I don't really know. Like it. Like honestly, when I looked at it, I kind of was like, "Is that a target?" Like it kind of looked like a target to me too. Like so, I have no idea what that was.
Fair
His
enough.
head was
I think
covering
bored
half of it
playing
too.
darts.
Yeah, this time around, I noticed the details because I kind of know everything else so
Yeah.
well that I just like hone in on really random things.
I love being able to do that.
Right. Yeah. I loved during that conversation when he says like I know he was just trying to like dissuade Ned from like caring or like going after this, but I really liked his quote of like last words are usually as important as first words. And I was like that's
is a
just
good
like
quote.
so real cuz you know we're so like oh my god, their last words, but it's like you know at the end of the day like if you're in the hospital, you're drugged up. Like, if you're dying, you're, like, adrenaline or de-adrenalined up. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot going on in your brain and your chemistry. Like, your last words are probably gonna be something stupid, you know? And it just was
Yeah,
like,
we
this is
romanticize
coming,
that a lot.
right? And I was like, oh, this truth bomb is coming from Pycelle? Okay, interesting.
This man? Really?
Yeah.
Little did I know. Yeah.
So Ned grabs that book and he's like, "Okay, fun little light
Time for
reading
some
for
light
my
reading.
yeah." we have like the same thoughts.
Yep.
Oh my god.
And he goes back to his quarters, and Arya's there, standing at the top of the stairs, trying to balance on one foot. And she says that
Icon.
Syrio says that the water dancers can balance on one toe for hours, and she's like not very good at it yet. But her whole thing is like Syrio says, and I'm like, this is a very Simon Says moment.
I love it.
And even I think Ned at one point is like, oh right, Syrio says.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh. I
And-
love this was such a cute little Arya feature. I love all the
trauma.
Murder?
What did we call her? Murder child? Or is that what we have like a
That's fair.
murder child, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody calls her murder child.
I just couldn't remember if like that was the specific term, like, because I feel like we say that one all the time. Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, but before she becomes murder child, it's nice to see her, water dancing and hanging out. And I'm not
also nice to see Ned smiling.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh
that's
my God.
good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Oh
God.
it's nice to see
I
Ned,
don't-
period.
Oh my God.
I mean,
so
sure,
true.
yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna happen in the show like this, but I'm not looking forward to us through the eyes of Sansa watching Syrio like fight.
That
to
was
his
Arya.
death. What did I
You
say?
said Sansa.
Oh, oops! I meant to say Arya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Syrio's pretty cool.
Yeah, he is. The actor does a really good job of embodying that
Yes.
character.
He's my fave.
Yeah.
He was the best. He was the shining star of episode 3.
He was real good. Yeah. I thought it was also interesting seeing Arya in the beginning saying, like, to his dad, her Ned was like, "You're gonna do this when you grow up, and then this and this and this," and she's like, "No,
Yeah.
that's not it. That's
That's
not
not
it for
me.
me." And I was
It's
like, "That's so interesting."
Like Ned is progressive, but not quite. Like he's gonna get her the sword fighting lessons, but he still
Yeah.
is like, oh yeah, you're gonna marry some guy and rule his castle. Like that's all you can do in life.
Yeah.
And I think it was nice that like he wasn't arguing with her, but he still
Right.
had a formula for how she was gonna live her life, and she's like, "No, I don't want that." And you're like,
Mhm.
"Okay, that's so interesting." I mean, yes, she is a tomboy, but like I just thought it was like she voiced it out loud this early on that she was like, "This is not the life that I want. I
Yeah.
want something different."
Yeah.
So
I love that
liked
moment
that.
too.
mhm.
They also talk about Bran like being awake now, and she's like, "Oh, is he gonna come
And
live with
coming.
us? And is he gonna be a
Yeah.
knight of the Kingsguard?" And it's like this whole sad thing. But
Ugh.
Ned's like, and this is how they get in the conversation of like, "Oh, Bran's probably still gonna like rule some castle someday, but you're also gonna by proxy rule some castle someday." And yeah,
Oh my God.
this whole
Oh.
thing. I think this conversation is pretty similar to in the book, but one thing I appreciated is that in the book he says, "Oh, you're gonna marry a prince and be a queen someday," and I'm like, how many princes and kings do you plan on having in this kingdom of yours, Ned? That was like a critique of mine in the book. I think it was just like one of those like editing mishaps. Here he
Right.
says High Lord, and that makes a lot more sense for me.
Nice.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Um
Oh.
okay. I'm excited about this. Sorry. Any other thoughts on this
Mhm.
scene before we move on?
Mm-mm.
She's just so cute. I love her.
She is
She's
adorable.
So
Mhm.
tiny.
She
Yeah.
is so tiny. Oh.
So what happened? Oh, this is okay. John and Sam up on the wall, and this is where he tells like, okay, they're gonna be watch bros together, and
Watch buddies.
Sam's scared, and
Aw.
John's like, "You're scared of everything. What are you doing here?" "Oh yeah, my dad forced me. Otherwise, he would kill me." And then it's like, okay, well, you can't get any worse than you are, so I guess that's something.
And then they
Yeah.
actually laugh, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Like, so
Oh my
weird to see him
God.
smile.
And
I was
also, like,
"Okay,
at the
this is
mall.
nice."
Oh
The
my
wall is just
God.
such a
good
grim
in
place.
snow. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And Sam
this
says
where-
he's 18, which like everybody's like a little aged up. I think in the book he's like 15, so like everybody's
Mhm.
aged
Oh,
up
wow.
approximately 3 years. So
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Ugh. Is this when John like confides in him too, or does that happen later? Do we
no,
flip
that's
back?
then when
later.
they're scrubbing one table for
They're-
way too long.
one
Oh
table.
right.
Mhm.
Right.
I was like,
They don't know
yeah,
how to
what are
clean.
you like? How long could it take you to clean this one table?
They don't know what they're doing. They don't
It's
know how
like-
to clean.
It's like when when you're with a friend or something, and like either the friend's parents or like your parents are like, go do this task, and you're like, this is a 2-person job now. Or like at school when you make everything a 2-person job just so you can go hang out with your friend. It was very much that energy.
Yeah. Actually, that's so accurate. So, speaking of two people, not at all. Speaking of friends, wait, not that either. Speaking of enemies, Ned and Pattaya are walking in the gardens, Peter, in the gardens of the Red Keep. It's also
this scene was so fun. I loved it.
It was fun, but also seeing Ned, like, he just looks so out of place in King's Landing.
Oh yeah.
Just immediately he does not belong here. He's a winter person. He's wearing the wrong seasons. I don't know. And so they're walking through the gardens, and Peter's like, you gotta be careful, there's spies everywhere. That one's Cersei's, that one's Varys's. Sorry, not Viserys's. Varys's. And then he points to like a septa, and he's like, oh, that one's mine actually. Yeah, so be careful who you visit. If you want some info, there's this guy, Sir Hugh of the Vale. Do you have anybody you trust without doubt? And Ned's like, yeah, of course I do. And then he's like, wrong answer, but okay. Tell him, send him to talk to Sir Hugh. And also go tell him to visit the armorer, which like Ned ends up doing himself later, which whatever. It's one of his like kind of naive flaws where he's like, I'm doing all these things myself, but you really shouldn't.
Jorah was like, you shouldn't be here, and he's like, let them look. Like,
yeah,
okay,
exactly. Yeah, you should not let them look. But so then Ned's like, okay, thanks for your help. I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong to distrust you. And this is where we get like an iconic book and show line, which is like, distrusting me was the best thing you did ever since you climbed off your horse. And it's like, oh yeah, and you don't even know yet.
And that kind of ate. He kind of ate with that line, unfortunately.
I don't know. I saw it as kind of bullshit, honestly. Like,
it's
you,
bullshit,
man.
But it's more true than Ned even realizes at this moment.
Yeah, it's just like this actor. Is so good, and that I hate him so
fighting
much.
words, Emily. Don't you know Harmouth has a huge crush for this guy? Apparently,
No.
This is not true.
No.
Let me finish.
Wait, sorry, you don't know this.
Finish my sentence.
No. Sorry, I will let you. I just have to tell you that in the episode that's going to come out tomorrow, Harmouth confided to us that she actually thinks Peter Baelish is hot, and we disagree vehemently. And that's what
I also disagree. But no, what I was going to say is that this actor is so good, and that he can be so unlikable and sleazy in the way that he speaks. It was a lot of just like the way that they write his language and stuff like that. And obviously this is Martin's, but it's just like, oh, and like, just I don't know. He
very
irks
slimy.
me. Yeah, but I mean, he does a good job. Like, I will never be able to see him in anything else and be like, cool.
He can never play a non-evil character ever.
Not to me. I mean, he could, I'm sure, but not for me. But no, it was just like it was like little do we know just like how intense this is, and like how crazy, like how true that is, but also how like this is just the beginning of all the insane shit he's gonna say and do. So it's just like, oh man, like here we go.
See, I just love that. Is one of my favorite like types of villains, or like things that certain villains do that put them higher on that makes me respect them more. And it just is like when like near the beginning of the story, they just tell one of the protagonists like exactly what they're gonna do, but it's like they're either not taken seriously, or like in this case where like not taken seriously to the level that they should be. Like, I just love a villain who is just so honest, and then so like honest. Succeeds.
It's not how I would describe Littlefinger.
No. Like in this, obviously he lies a lot and is shady, but like specifically in this scene, like I love when they do that, because I'm just like, unfortunately, I do have to respect that you did that and still got away with it, you know. So, yeah.
Sorry, I just love bothering you. Okay, so now we're on the tourney grounds, the low-budget tourney grounds of season 1 of Game of Thrones. And
God.
Sir Hugh is counting like the paces and, measuring the grounds. And when Jory goes to talk to him. Now, Emily.
Yes.
I had a real shock when I saw this, and I had to
did too.
pause and zoom in. Did you realize the same thing I realized?
Yep. Who this person is.
Yeah,
yes,
this
I did.
character is played by, I wrote down his name, Jefferson Hall, who plays not one, but 2 characters on House of the Dragon.
Yep.
What do you mean he plays fucking 2 characters?
That's all I mean, and that's all you're gonna get.
How do you play 2 characters on the same show that only has 2 seasons?
A lot happens in 2 seasons.
Yeah, a lot does happen in 2 seasons.
2 characters? Like his twin brother? Like
Yeah, he plays
Oh,
twins.
wait, it must be. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, that must actually be it.
How absurd. Oh, wait, that's it. Yes.
Yeah, no, I saw
Absolutely.
him and I was like, wait a second. I rewound
same.
and
I had to-
paused and zoomed in, and it was like this whole
Oh my
thing.
god.
I'm going to send a picture to Kate tomorrow and be like, look at this.
Right? It
That's
was
so
so
funny.
weird.
It was wild. I'm like, how often has that happened?
I
And then
wonder if it's
later
gonna
when he
happen
died, I was
again.
like, that's why it happened.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh.
Yeah, it was insane.
I mean, poor guy only had this one scene and then gets murdered later, so it's good that they made use of him later.
They
on.
gave him work several years later.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Gets a second chance.
Exactly. So Jory goes to talk to him and he's like, "Oh, you're a knight?" And he's like, "No, I'm not a knight. I don't talk to anybody but knights." So that's generally the whole of it.
Yeah.
Other
He
than
won't talk to him.
both of Emily and my excitement over this actor, other than that, we didn't have much not much to the scene.
Yeah.
So then we cut to Jory and Ned pulling up on the armorer's shop. And once again, a difference from the book, but a good difference, is that Ned doesn't wear his Hand of the King pin. In the book, he's wearing his big chain, and it's like he wants everybody to know that he's investigating this. He doesn't even try to leave that at home. But at least in the show, he took off the pin. But he's still very
Oh, I
recognizable.
didn't notice that. That's funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, Ned. I can't, it's so funny. Reading it, I think I just was like, I just was in a different place. You know what I mean? And then Ned dies, and then you realize, oh, he really fucked everything up. It took me so long to realize that he actually was terrible at his job. Just because, you like him so much and you root for him. Not, terrible at his job, but, it just, he just didn't...
He's not meant for it.
Yeah,
He's
there are
good
so
at
many...
his job in the North, because the North has, a certain, code and, a way that things run. And King's Landing is just all these sleazy people doing sleazy things.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
his whole honor thing,
Yeah.
and that just doesn't work in this context, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And they set him up to be the main character, the good guy that everybody roots for. And then, after this, I'm assuming the first book and the first season, they're like, fuck your expectations. This is all going to be different, and strap in. And you're like, oh no, what's happening?
Yeah, although they cast Sean Bean, so everybody who didn't know should have seen it coming.
We
right?
should have known.
Oh, come on.
God.
I would hope the one time. One time.
Oh my god.
Uh,
It's the darn
Yeah.
hope that gets
Oh.
you.
So, this is the first time you see Gendry, right?
yes, it is. Yeah,
Okay,
Oh.
Harmon, what did you think of him?
Icon.
He's cute.
yeah.
He is cute.
He is
Icon.
he's one of the actually hot guys on the show. So
Well, okay,
Agreed.
I just thought that you were tired of me calling everybody hot. But
Oh,
he is
okay,
also
well-
hot, I would say.
okay.
But
I wasn't
but,
tired. I was just when someone's everybody agrees is hot. I expect you to also agree. So then when you didn't, I was like, oh, is this a weird deviation? You know?
No, I think specifically in this scene, I was just really into the character.
Okay.
So I just
Sure,
wasn't
there's a lot going
thinking
on.
like when I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, he was hot. But in the moment, I just was like, oh my god, it's Gendry, and then he's gonna meet Arya, and they're gonna be I just kind of was getting ahead of myself,
Aw,
and
that's
he
cute.
had so much attitude here, the way he was that's not for sale. I was like, yes, Gendry. So I think I was
Yeah.
just really invested. So I wasn't thinking about him being hot, but he
Sure.
was hot.
Yeah.
Oh,
fair
I was excited because I've seen older Gendry, and I was like, what did he actually look like in the beginning? And I was like, oh, he's a cutie. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so Ned's like, oh, why did Aaron come here? Oh, he came to talk to the boy. What did he ask you about? Oh, he would ask about my work, but then he asked about my mom and like what color hair she had. And Ned's like, oh, so what did you say? She had yellow hair? And then he like tells Gendry to look him in the eye, and it's like obviously like, oh, right, okay, he's got the eyes, he's got the hair. That's clearly Robert's kid.
Woohoo.
And I would say,
A bastard son.
yeah.
Which
Harmouth,
is a
do
big
you
deal
remember?
originally.
Sorry, go ahead, Emily.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, it didn't feel like a huge reveal, but I know it actually was because I
Oh,
just
yeah.
knew it this time. And I was like, this was a huge thing. I had to remind myself.
It was a huge thing. When we read
Yes.
this chapter in the book, I don't think Ned goes, oh, that's Robert's son. It just kind of ends, and then like later on he thinks that. And Harmouth was like, oh, is Gendry Cersei and Jaime's son? Like she got kind of like she was like so close but so far at the same time.
Yeah. It was like I was like nearly almost predicted the book's whole reveal,
Sure.
but did it in the completely wrong spot so that it was so wrong for the book reveal and for the chapter's reveal.
That's
So,
fair.
but then after, I do remember saying that.
That's funny.
I don't really know what my
Because
logic
I remember
was.
getting super, because you were like, oh, I have a theory, and is he? And then like I thought you were gonna say Robert's son, and then you say something completely not that, and then I remember being like, how do I subdue my reaction to this and just let you react and have your theory?
Wild. I make some wild predictions sometimes.
But you also can't see them, so I think descriptions are a lot easier to forget.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I never remember what anyone looks like. So when
Okay,
when you're
yeah.
asking me if like you're like, oh, did this match your expectations? I'm like, well, my expectation was kind of based off of nothing. Like,
Cool.
I just kind of will decide what they look like, not based off of the book
Yeah.
description, just based off of like what I want them to look like.
Oh.
So yeah.
Vibes.
So, like, honestly, and especially the thing about this series, especially in the books, unfortunately, is so many moments, it's so important to remember their descriptions because it'll be like, oh, that's actually a Varys disguise. Or like, oh, that's actually Jaqen Hagar, like the faceless man who we saw like 20 chapters ago. Remember his nose? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many moments where you have to remember what the people looked like to solve the mystery. And I just
Yes.
don't. Or it'll be like, yeah, the guy with green hair, the fucking Bravosi. No other Bravosi have we seen in this book. Like, but it's like, I have to actually remember what they look like to make those connections, which I don't. So,
That's
yeah.
rough.
It's
So is it
actually the
watching it better
Tyroshi that
then?
dye their hair green, but whatever.
Okay, whatever. Someone
Sorry.
Oshi. Like,
I just,
some
I
Oshi.
can't not be
Oshi?
annoying. It's like, it's an impulse I can't control. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's my, like, it's both my duty and my right as your best friend to bother you about every little thing.
Oh my god.
Okay.
LOL.
So it's great. The scene was good. It was a nice little moment. The helmet looked good, but I was like, would that
Oh,
actually
yeah, that was
fit
a
your
cool
head?
helmet. It looked real small, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now we cut to Jaime standing outside Robert's door when Jory
Mhm.
comes to give him a message from Ned. I'm assuming the message is, oh, you have a bastard son. This is him, like Gendry. But like Jory and... So there's a lot. First off, Robert is in his room having an orgy. It's like this whole
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
And Jory's like, okay, well, you know, we've met actually, and we get some more exposition about like the siege of Pike and them fighting
Mhm.
there, and that was this whole thing. And they're like, oh, you're cool, and then he's like, so if we're cool, do you mind giving Robert this message? And he's like, I'm not
No.
his messenger. But
We're not cool anymore.
My question was, Jory, this is a Lannister. What are you doing giving Ned's messages to a Lannister?
I
should
don't
know
remember much
better.
about Jory. I guess. What was his background again? Like, I remember him once I saw him. I was like, oh yeah, I like
Jory
you, but I
is
don't
Ned's
remember.
like in charge of his house guard. Like he's the head.
But he's not a knight, obviously.
Well, they
so
don't
he's
do
just-
knights
he's
in the north because the knights are
Got
like
it.
a seven god, like the seven thing, like the seven gods thing.
Oh, so the seven.
So it's like a
7
religious
point
difference.
star
So like in the
something?
north, because
Oh,
they have
shit,
the
okay.
old gods, they
They have a
don't
different.
have knights.
Got
They
it.
they
okay.
do have
Okay,
some
so
knights, but
basically the same
it's very
thing.
sporadic. Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe just following orders, I guess.
I guess. Anyway,
Yeah.
that was my takeaway from this scene. What was
Also,
your reaction?
It was interesting seeing Jamie like, oh yes, the much sleazier, slicker Jamie where it's just like, ooh, fuck everything. I'm so angry and whatever. And I don't know, just like it's just weird to see him just like hating the world and being rude to everyone and I mean for obvious reasons why, like Robert Baratheon is the worst and cheating on his sister or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
not that he doesn't cheat with his sister, but
exactly. So it's like so many, yeah. But yeah, it was just funny because I remember hating Jamie in the beginning very much, and I was like, well, this is why. Like, obviously, this because
Oh my
he's
God.
an asshole. Because even when they bro out for a second, it's like, oh yeah, remember that? That was so funny. No, fuck you. I'm not listening to you. I'm not doing what you want. It's like, what just happened?
yeah.
No. Me when I have no loyalties except my sister and my sister, my brother, and my dad. That's it.
My kids.
Maybe,
But he doesn't really like care about his kids though. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
kind of, yeah.
he would definitely like sacrifice them for Cersei at this point in time. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I
sure,
feel like
sure,
I feel
yeah.
like I remember actually at one point in the books him even being like, "Oh, we can just make more kids," like or something like that. Like
That sounds right.
yeah, he has
Yeah.
a moment.
He's has a lot of moments, but this whole
Understatement.
scene is basically, well, I guess the purpose is to show that like, oh, Robert has sex with a lot of people and Jamie doesn't like it, but also we as the audience know that he's having sex with his sister, so like this whole it kind of adds to that a little bit, but also the exposition about the Greyjoy rebellion, a mention of Thoros of Myr and his burning sword, so there's some little nuggets because Thoros and Myr also
shit.
fought at Pike, so they
Uh-huh.
talk about never forgetting the sight of him rushing through with the burning sword.
Oh yeah. Weird.
Yeah,
Wait, I have a question.
yeah.
Or I'm about to make a silly prediction. Please don't make fun
Okay,
of
no,
me.
we like
Okay.
predictions.
Okay. Thoros of Myr. Oh no, JK, never mind. Okay.
What were you gonna?
Okay, I'm gonna say it, but I realized why it was wrong. Okay.
Yeah,
So Thoros of Myr is also like he's got the burning sword because now he believes in the Lord of Light, right?
no,
like that's how he was able to.
Thoros of Myr is a priest of the Red Lord. Like,
Oh, shit.
Yes. Yeah, so he always believed in.
yes,
Like,
and
the
then
Lord of
he
Light.
met his bro Dondarrion, and then they went
Yes.
out on this mission, and Dondarrion died, and then he was like, "Oh, I had this ritual I remember from billions of years ago that didn't really work, but I tried it out, and guess what? It worked, and I brought him back to life."
Okay, gotcha. So he was always like, he was never converted throughout the course of the series. Like he was always.
No, he
Red
just
Lord
wasn't
guy.
a very serious priest. Like he was always drunk, and
Okay.
it wasn't until he,
Okay.
like the Brotherhood of Without Banners became a thing that he like actually was
Mhm.
like, okay,
Oh,
This
Like,
is gonna get me somewhere.
yeah,
Like, okay, got
like
it.
maybe this is
So-
real.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I forgot that he was. I forgot that he literally was a red priest. Because I was like, oh my god, maybe he's the heir that like.
The
'Cause you
prince
know
that
the
was
thing-
promised.
Yeah, because you know how he had to have like the. You know what I'm
and
saying?
his sword is Lightbringer. Right.
Yeah, I was like, did we miss this
No, but
connection?
we
And then I was like, oh no,
actually-
he literally is the
funny
priest.
enough,
Like,
We hear from the armorer that Ned goes to in this scene about how the armor produces all the swords from Thoros Mir because he goes through them so quickly because he's always dunking them in wildfire, like in the book. Sorry, I should have clarified in the book. It's Emily's looking like, I don't remember that scene. No, in the book.
But it's been a while.
Yeah, this armorer produces all of Thoros' swords, and the way Thoros produces a lightning sword is by dunking it in wildfire and setting it on fire.
Right.
And he goes through swords like every 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. So it's not Lightbringer because we know how he does it.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah. I think I was just making I was like forgetting and remembering things. And you know when you've forgotten something and then you remember it, so it feels like new information?
Yes.
It was one of those moments.
Yeah, Emily's just here learning really random stuff that you're never going to need in your entire life, especially now since you're done.
Or I'm like, did I know this in a different format or a different, like, I don't know.
Oh my God.
Okay. So now so we cut to the scene with Sam and John cleaning that one table. Mm-hmm. No, they're not cleaning the table. Oh, he's hanging out with his friends and they're talking. He's like, okay, y'all aren't going to beat up Sam anymore. And Rast turns around and he's like, oh, actually, I am going to beat up Sam. And then it's night and he's sleeping and they threaten him with Ghost and is like, if you
Damn,
beat
John.
Sam.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This I liked because this happens in the book. Like they do threaten him with the dire wolf, and I was like, oh, okay.
What?
It's like the dire wolf's put to best use kind of situation.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny.
But like looking at Ghost and like Ghost just looks so cute. Like I know he's menacing, but also I'm just like, oh, he's so
adorable. He's just a little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is when they didn't cost an arm and a leg to have.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It also like specifically like when he's telling his friends like we're gonna be nice to Sam now, like this is another one of those things that I love about being able to see it on the screen rather than read about it, because when we're reading about it, we're in their head. So obviously John's not going to be like, I was commanding and I told them, like, you know what I mean? He's not going to like toot his own horn. But then when you're watching it, you're kind of like, oh, of course he becomes Lord Commander later on. Like, look at you know what I mean? Like, there's already that, like, yeah, literally look at the leadership. And even like, obviously part of that totally comes from like, you know, the way he was raised and like he was like the bastard son of the Lord of Winterfell, like, you know, and he's carrying that status into here. Like that's hard to let go of, that mentality of like at the end of the day, like even though I'm his bastard son, like I am his son, so I am still important and like part of the family, whatever, you know. So like it just like the way that he carries himself with the way that he's able to like kind of command them, it's like, oh, of course he's gonna go and become, you know what I mean? Like, in the books, when I was like, oh, he's gonna go become Lord Commander, like, it was just because I wanted him to. Like, it wasn't quite me being like, he should. Like, I'm sure part of it was I was like, oh, look at the way he's able to, like, work with Sam and, like, all that. But, like, at the end of the day, I was saying it because I wanted it, not because I thought it was right. But now I'm kind of like, well, it's right, you know? So it's just nice to see that he's capable, I think.
You see the growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. My only note was that these guys that he's friends with, I never fucking learned their names. It was like every time they showed up, I'd be like, I'm not gonna see them again. And then they kept coming. Yeah. Kept being alive. And I was like, stop it. That's so stop funny. Being around. Like, I want to forget you. I still don't know their names.
That's Pip and Bran. That's their names.
Those are obviously right. And they sound right in my brain, but I was like, these fuckers, like, god damn it. It was like literally every time I'm like, still don't know.
That's such a funny problem to have in a series like defined by how many people die. Like, to be like, yes. Man, these people whose names I don't know just won't die off. Like, I keep waiting. I think
it's so it's like the D-list characters that keep coming back and you're like, oh, they're like climbing the ladders where you see them more. What is happening? I don't understand. Like, why are you still around and important? I remember saying that a lot. Like, why are you still here?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my
obviously,
God.
everyone's around until they die. You know, that's the end point. They could come back if you don't see them die.
Yeah, it's the thing is, in this show and series, the A-list characters are the ones that die, not the D-list characters.
Oh God.
Sir Hugh.
Oh, right. No. That's true. I mean, a lot of A-list characters die.
Mhm.
No, absolutely. Yes,
It's like
yes.
it's proportional from all the lists.
Yeah, and then you get the randos where you're like, that wasn't a real person. Oh, they're dead now. Okay. And then the
just
show
the
hates
red
horses,
shirts.
so
Oh
Yep.
my God.
Oh my
Funny.
God. I was reminded of a later episode of the series where like random people keep dying, but you think it's one of your characters, but it's always just a random red shirt. And then I think in that scene they were actually wearing red shirts, which just is too much.
Oh
But
my God.
that detail might have just been my brain editing it. I don't know.
That's funny.
Okay, so then they're in the training yard and everybody refuses to fight Sam, and then like when Gren goes to fight him, he's like, hit me, and then like Sam hits him a little bit and he falls like so dramatically, like in a
so
whole
funny.
Broadway production out on this
Oh
yard.
my
here.
God,
loved it.
yes. Oh, I love a
Um,
choreographed fight, and this was giving that.
Yeah, and Alistair
Ugh.
Thorne's like, when you're out there in the real winter, you're gonna want somebody who can fight. This useless person
I
is gonna
hate
be
this
blah blah
guy.
blah.
Literally,
Yeah.
shut up, Alistair. I loved it. Everyone's acting in this scene. I don't even know if it was actually good, but when I was watching it, it felt brilliant. Because you had, like, Raph goes in, and you can see, like, on Raph's face, he's
Rast.
like, oh, yeah, that guy. Rast. You can, like, see on his face. He's like,
It's like,
do I not? Like, you know?
I'm watching John. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on John's face, he just like deadpan is like, you fucking like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then you see Sam, and I'm reading Sam's thoughts is just like, am I amazing? Like, what is that? Like, you can see Sam kind of be like, he's not catching on that they're doing this on purpose, which makes it so much more funny.
Did I
it
gain
just-
superpowers overnight?
Yeah, he's
Right.
like, whoa, I'm kind of doing it, guys. Like, and I just had so much fun watching them just be silly. I like, honestly, reading these scenes was so annoying because Alistair was always there, and it really bothered me.
worst.
He is the worst. But watching them is so much more fun because I can just ignore him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, now we go back to Daenerys, and Viserys is dragging this poor sex worker. I don't know her name still. He's dragging her by the hair into Daenerys's like tent house situation, and it's because Daenerys asked her to just tell him, "Hey, come over for dinner," but he's like, "You do not command me," and he like starts hitting her. Does he hit her? Yeah, he hit her. Oh, he starts
He
choking
tackles
her.
her to the ground.
Yeah, tackles her and
thought.
starts choking her, and then
Because
she
she's
grabs
like, I got you
this-
gifts. He like throws it, and yeah.
Yeah, she grabs one of the belts that he was going to give him, like this big metal
Mhm.
medallion thing, and starts hitting him, and it was very satisfying.
It's just like honestly, I feel like it was just like one hit, and then he was just like, "What is
Oh.
happening?"
I don't know, maybe I exaggerated it in my brain because I wanted it to be more, but
Oh hell yeah! Yeah, I feel like it was just like one smack, and then he had blood, and he was
right,
like,
and he was
"Wait,
like,
I'm
"What?
bleeding? What's
Somebody hit
happening?"
back!" Oh,
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Ugh.
yeah, he sucks so much. And then she's like, I am a Khaleesi. You will not treat me like this. The next time you raise your hand, you will not have any more hands. And I was like, let's just do that now.
Right? Yeah. I
Oh my
forgot how
God.
early she got pregnant. And
Yeah.
it was like finding her own because it was like, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, she
'Cause
has
she's gotta
trauma, and then by
get
like episode 3,
pregnant.
she's like, I'm good now. I would no problematic relationship here. We're good. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. This
What
is like one of
time?
those
How long?
things that like you definitely need more than 10 episodes because she's got to like get married into this weird
Yeah.
forced not weird, like straight up forced relationship.
She was sold.
And
Yeah.
then like be like, oh, actually, I'm okay with this, and then get pregnant, and then like
Be
plan
proud
to
of
go to
it.
Westeros, but then like he dies, and then she tries to bring him back, and then she like loses the pregnancy, and then she has to have the dragon. Like a lot has to happen for her in this season.
No.
Yes,
It's-
yeah. She.
Oh
and it starts out
God,
so
that's terrifying.
slow.
How are they gonna fit all that? I'm scared.
Yeah.
Well,
Badly.
somehow.
Oh God.
What
I am
happens to
afraid.
Danny?
Yeah.
Oh my God. We need a whole show just for Danny. A little spin-off.
Does anything else? I think her just telling him how it really
That's
is, and
pretty
that's
much
how
it,
we end
yeah.
that
I-
scene.
Watching Viserys's face at the end of the scene was just so fun. It just like
Yeah.
he was so shocked, and it just was really satisfying. I loved
Yeah.
it.
You could tell he was holding
Yes.
back tears, like
Yes.
So scared, yeah. And I was
Yes.
like, oh, you are
yeah.
nothing.
Now we get the scene with Sam and John bonding over
Oh my
that table.
god.
And
so
this-
Oh my
funny.
God.
This scene, like, they're talking about sex, but this didn't feel like gratuitous. This was just like kind of like, oh,
It's
little
funny.
teenagers like figuring
Yeah.
out what sex
Yes.
is. thing.
Yeah.
Talking about it, yeah.
Yeah. So this was kind of adorable.
this
this
was
It was
funny.
just a little like trauma sharing session. It was great.
yeah.
I thought it was very cute.
Yeah.
But I thought it was so interesting because John in this shows a little bit of maturity in that the one time that he was with Roz, we don't know how old he was or anything, thinking ahead of like, well, I don't want, what if she gets pregnant? And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
Because he
Yeah,
has
you
his
weren't
whole
thinking
Than
about
any
trauma
other teenager has. Yeah.
about
yeah.
being a bastard, and he's like, I don't ever want to father bastards. That's his whole character motivation, basically.
Well,
Oh my
yeah, but I
God.
just thought it was so interesting.
Which is why
to have
later
that.
when he meets Ygritte and he like quote unquote has to have sex with her, it's like a very hard line for him to cross because he's like, but what if she gets pregnant and I have a bastard, and what's that gonna mean? Like, it's even more so
Yeah.
than his vows to the Watch. It's like a big deal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, Roz is brought up again. Let me just
Mhm.
tell you,
Shout
Harmith,
out.
Roz is gonna be it. Roz is a person in the show that is not a person in the books, and it's like
Oh. anytime
anytime you need a sex worker for any situation, Roz will be
Yeah.
brought up. So
Usually-
Really? Oh my
She has a whole
God.
plot and everything.
yeah,
What? Oh,
It's
okay.
not
I have
great.
a prediction.
Sure.
Okay.
I feel like they're gonna make it one of the theories for like. Wait, how old is Ross?
I don't know.
Okay.
A little older than these kids.
Yeah, like maybe
Okay.
in her 20s.
20s.
Okay,
Yeah.
then my theory doesn't really work because I was like, are they gonna make it another one of like John's parentage theories? You know, they had like
No.
5 different theories for him.
No.
Okay.
No. She's not that much older than John.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes sense
Sounds
when
good.
she's with Theon or Rob or whoever, one of these young men. So
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah,
Sounds
anyway.
good.
So
I was
as
wondering
they're
about that.
bonding over this, Alistair Thorne comes in and he's like, "What do you know of winter? I know winter," and this whole thing. Like, I'm like, sure, but also
Brags about eating
I
people.
hate you. Oh yes,
Yeah.
he talks about being cannibal, which, given our last week's conversation about difference of different animals that people eat, and like, honestly, if I am ever in a situation that we are in like the wild wilderness or something and I die, whoever's around, you have permission to eat me. I don't really care.
Oh my God. Wow.
So-
how generous of you.
Yeah,
first
take
time,
that as you
yeah.
will. I said that to Harmouth and I was like, you're not gonna reciprocate? You don't want me to eat you?
Yeah. And I was like,
Oh.
no. Like,
My family wants my body?
oh my God. No, I'm gonna donate my body to science. Except I don't know how useful it's gonna be after it's been rotting in the woods for months or however long
No,
it is.
they'll be
frozen.
like, how did this person function without glasses, even though they needed glasses for years? That's gonna be like the big hypothesis they're gonna
Oh
test.
God. Oh my God.
Test your eyes. Oh man.
This
She
is
just
too
got glasses
deep of a
after.
lore drop. This is too deep of a lore drop. Like,
Sorry. It's a big deal. It's a big deal in our lives.
Yes, for sure. But anyway, yeah, cannibalism. Cannibalism mentioned. Thanks, Alistair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you know, talking about how, man, it would have been great to have you two useless people there to eat, and you're like, what vibe is this? What
Yeah.
is happening?
Literally, it's
this
not
is
even
where we're going.
Yeah.
Oh man, just the worst.
Yeah.
Indeed. Like, all you
I
can
had
do is just
a-
sigh.
Literally.
Mhm.
I had a quote written about this scene, but I don't remember who, when, where, what, how it happened.
Mhm.
I build my own fires. Who said that?
Oh, because Alistair Thorne's like, oh,
John,
you with your servants building you fires.
you lord,
yeah,
blah, blah,
like,
blah.
how would you survive out there? And John's like,
Oh.
I build my own fires, actually.
Okay,
What?
I wrote
It's
that
not a very
down.
good comeback.
It's not John.
Oh
I mean,
my
he's never-
god.
Yeah. Not good with
That's
comebacks.
so silly. That's so silly, but
Very
slay.
childish. I build my own
Mhm.
fires.
Yeah.
You're not my real dad.
No one's my real
That's so
dad.
funny.
Poor
Oh my
John, always
God.
searching for a father figure, and then they die.
Oh god, that's so sad. Oh,
That was, running
Well,
joke for me.
turns
Oh,
out
who's gonna
he
be
needed
John's
to be
dad
his
now?
own father all along.
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
wow.
Absolutely, yeah. The father was in him all along. Wait, no. No, not exactly.
The John was the father we found along the way. John was the father we made along the way.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, now we're back to Dany, and she's talking to Jorah about, like, oh, I hit my brother. He's the last dragon. Like, people want him to be king. And Jorah's like,
Oh,
actually, I do
God.
think, like, he sucks. And the only time I'll agree with Jorah. And he says, like, the regular people don't care about this. They just care about, like, having long summers. In the book, I think he says, like, he's the one who drops the line, like, the small folk don't care about the Game of Thrones. So they kind of cut it
He
down.
says the thing,
He does say
Banger
the thing, yeah.
line.
and
Oh
we
my
got
God.
rid of it. Interesting.
Yeah, they're so usually good about saying the thing, but not this.
Well, doesn't Cersei say the thing in this?
Oh,
show?
she does. Oh, actually, maybe she's the one who says it. Then what am I thinking of?
I think it's both. I
Maybe
think
they
it's
both say it.
When you
But because when
lose or you
Cersei says it,
die
it is
or
very
whatever it is.
impactful. Because she says,
Yeah.
It is.
yeah.
Yes, when
Oh,
play
thank
the
you
Game
for
of
that
Thrones,
reminder.
yeah.
Maybe I feel like Jorah also said it, or maybe he said something like very
He
close
might have
to
said
it,
an iteration of it, yeah.
but like not quite it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Now
yeah,
I need to
Cersei
know.
definitely says Game of Thrones, but then Jorah might have just been like,
The games these high lords play, or something very.
yeah.
Okay, that's a note to self to look up later. What does Jorah say?
Mm.
What did Jorah
Don't
say?
give him any more of your time. Fuck that guy.
I know, but I need, like, this is one of those things that I need to know
No,
now
I know.
for my own satisfaction.
It was
my
weird
God.
seeing him
Yeah.
so early.
Oh yeah. He's episode 1. He's there. Like,
I
Oh,
know.
God.
I know.
And
Yeah.
and I took offense to that. That was wild.
That he was around?
Yes. I
Okay.
just don't like him. We just
Oh, I don't either.
yeah,
we
this
are
is
very
a
like
mutually-
anti Jorah in every, but in like we're like annoying about it. Like I feel like anytime someone emails or says anything about Jorah, I'm like, oh my god, we can't get into this because we won't shut up. Like I think if we needed like a top 3 list of who the podcast as an entity hates, I think he would be on the top 3 list for sure.
Yeah.
That's fair.
100%. Okay.
Yes.
Now we're at the tourney. And Sansa looks
Yes.
over to Joffrey, and Joffrey like just gives her the cold shoulder, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sad." Like,
My
yeah,
prince.
she like has the like I'm so sad expression, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is when Littlefinger sidles up to her, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I
Get
just
away from her.
Get out, get away, leave.
He didn't even have to say, "You remind me of your mother," but he'll do that eventually, and it's the
Yeah.
worst.
Ugh.
Mhm. And then
Rosa.
well, I don't remember if he says it in the show, but he does say in the book, like, oh, you remind me of your mother, and also you could have been my daughter. And then he's like, it's like a weird.
He does say that.
Yeah, like,
he says that. I remember
you
this.
could have been my
Yes.
daughter, but also I want to fuck you. Like, it's so gross.
Right?
Yeah.
God, man, get over yourself.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, I'm an old friend of the family. I've known your mom for ages, and yada yada yada. And Arya is the MVP as always. Why do they call you
What the fuck's with
Littlefinger?
your name?
And he does like, oh, I was little when I was little, and I've come from the finger, so Littlefinger. Very clever.
I had forgotten that, so it's kind of nice to hear again, because that's all I fucking call him.
Yeah.
I don't ever call him Peter or
Patire.
Tiger or whatever the fuck.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's so
no.
funny.
Yeah. And so Robert's getting impatient. My one note from the scene is those horns are very impractical, because he's got like a drinking horn, like a horn he's drinking out of, right?
Yes, you have
But-
to hold it the whole time.
Yeah, but it's like an actual horn, right? But yeah, you can't put it down. Like if you put it down,
No.
you spill. Like
Yeah, but the thing about Robert is that he probably just finishes it
He's
in
not
one
gonna put it
gulp,
down.
one
like,
drink.
Yeah.
That's fair.
and then you just put it down sideways after you're done.
But I think this
Yeah.
is like a thing people did, so I guess that is just what they did. They would just hold on to it until they finished the drink. Like horns were
Yeah.
like they're a historically accurate thing. Not
Yeah.
accurate, but like historical thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. So then the mountain rides in, and he
Yes.
Harry, and
Dude.
Sansa's like, oh, who's that? And Littlefinger gets into this whole story about how the Hound
Lore
was
dump.
traumatized by his brother. And now, okay, I'm going to take a sip of water so I can get into my hole in the book thing. If anybody else has any thoughts, please let me know.
Sansa, or not Sansa, Cersei's hair was weird.
Cersei's hair was weird.
It was like all up in a bun except for these two really long parts. That
Oh,
were just
LOL.
like weird little pigtails, and I was like, what the fuck's happening with your hair? That was
That's
it.
so
Yeah.
funny.
She's had a bad hair day.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, in the book, the Hound is the one who tells the story to Sansa himself. Like, here Littlefinger is telling the story, but the Hound is the one who tells it. And this whole tourney storyline is, like, we see a lot of it through Sansa's POV, and it's kind of like George deconstructing, like, the kind of romanticized view of, like, fantasy and like this medieval whatever and knights and all of that, because she sees like this knight, oh, he kills people, he burned his brother, like it's dismantling all of her beliefs about that, and it's like a big shock to her system. And it also begins like the Hound Sansa connection storyline.
But why does the Hound tell her? Like, why are they
Okay,
talking
so
in the
what
book?
happens is, so the tourney thing happens, and then later they have like a feast, and they're at the feast. Joffrey completely ignores her, and she's like really sad about it, and nobody's there to walk her home, so the Hound has to walk her home, but he's like hella
man.
drunk, like just so very drunk, because he's had a whole day of like being with around his brother. And
What?
then he goes
Okay.
into, let me tell you, and then she's doing her whole like, oh, Laura's so pretty, like, oh my god, Knight's amazing.
Mhm.
And Hound is like, let me tell you about knights, and then he does like that whole thing. And then he says,
Wow,
if you
that's
tell
so much
anyone, I'll kill
better.
you.
Oh my
Obviously.
God.
That's so much better. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
hmm
Is this supposed to be the same tourney where we see Sansa be in love with
Loris.
Loris?
Yeah,
Or is
that
a
happens
different
later.
tourney?
'Cause
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it will
okay.
happen.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Because I remember that too, and I was like, where's Loris?
Yeah, that was my same thought too.
Because
Mhm.
that whole thing is important to also the storyline happening with Tyrion, because Littlefinger's claim is that Tyrion bet against his brother
Mm-hmm.
and lost because Loris won.
Yes.
No, and won the knife because Loris won. But that's not
Mhm.
true, because Tyrion never bets against his brother, and like that whole thing comes up later.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sorry,
Cool.
it's like a
Oh yeah, and it's and that was also like that's like the finale, and this is like the beginning of Gregor dominating.
exactly
everyone
like
at
the
tournament,
tourney
right.
lasts several days.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it happens over the course of several days.
Okay.
That's so interesting that the Hound is originally the one who tells the story, because this it's so impactful, I think, for Littlefinger to approach Sansa in this way, give her all this information and say, don't tell anyone, like inadvertently make her like a co-conspirator of his so early on. And he does this so much to her,
Yeah.
like gives her information and makes it dangerous for her to have it and that kind of thing.
Oh, that's such a good observation.
Well, thank you. But yeah, it's like it's just starting that shit with Sansa so early on and just how far it goes.
Yeah.
It's just that was an interesting choice to know now that that was not how that happened.
Especially also because like after the like when the Hound tells her that, like you said, Nev, like that's the beginning of like the connection and the storyline with the Hound. But now Littlefinger is like, if the Hound hears you ever say this, like, he's going to kill you. So now it's like, I wonder how they're going to do that, you know? When
like how are the Hound and Sansa going to connect over this story if Sansa
she's not
isn't
even
allowed
supposed to
tell that she knows the story? Yeah.
So like, it just, I wonder how they're going to do that. Yeah, that's so interesting though that it's like, like Littlefinger already kind of plugging Sansa's mind with stuff. Oh, that's so scary.
So the joust begins, and the Hound, like they run around a little bit, but then eventually the Mountain kills Sir Hugh, and it happens like right in front of where Sansa and everybody's sitting, and it's like very graphic, and it kept going on and on and on, and it was like, enough already.
Yeah, it just was like, we did not need 30 seconds of blood coming out of his neck in like little bursts. Like that just was not needed.
Yeah.
This is just the start. Yeah. The gratuitous gore that you're, So this was also impactful because didn't Sir Hugh technically have information?
Yes. So it's like, you know, this was arranged.
Oh, no.
The Mountain killed Sir Hugh for that reason. Thank you, Ned, for, you know, just trotting about, letting everybody know what you're doing and not at all trying to conceal
and not
it.
Talking to him yourself, too. You know, because he sent Jorah and that didn't work. It's like, well, then go talk to him.
Also summon people to you. Like, you are the hand of the king.
Good point.
Yeah, you can be like, I need this armor because I need armor. I need Sir Hugh because I need another guard. Like, you can come up with things.
He can't. He doesn't know how to lie very much.
He's got no creativity in his bones. He's got the hard. He's got his hard cold truth, and that's that.
Then we get the confrontation between Ned and Cersei. We were both pretty sure this didn't happen in the book. Because I think the only time they really have that confrontation is literally at the end when Cersei says the Game of Thrones thing, and he's like, I know about your secret kids, not secret kids, like, things.
So it hits so much more, too.
Yeah.
Because they haven't, like, before that, none of them have acknowledged it. It's just kind of like, he sees Cersei, like, the next, like, you know what I mean? Like, they just kind of glare at each other, probably, like, you know, like.
Yeah. Because this was interesting because it's like, you know, she doesn't want to be at the tournament because Robert's getting drunk, but it's like, then she specifically like completely changes clothes or whatever, changes her hair, like her hair looked different. This is the same day, and then like seeks out Ned, and you're like, oh, so she's just literally there to interrogate him.
Yeah,
in this
I wonder if
story. So
she's the one who ordered the Mountain to kill like Sir Hugh, like that's obvious, or like she's at least involved in it. Like to us, we know. Ned doesn't know.
Sure.
But maybe this is her being like, okay, so he's like up investigating, so maybe I need to get him on my good side, and that's why she goes and does like maybe we should let bygones be bygones and start again.
Right.
Yeah, forget about the wolf. Or, it was too much, you know. Sorry, how is she?
Yeah. And it just ends with like, I was trained to kill my enemies, as was I. That's why does that
No, you weren't
up?
though, Cersei. You weren't.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and she says
like if we know anything about your childhood, that's not true.
Fact check.
I mean, later on you find out, like, now I know.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's impactful for people who hadn't seen it. That's like, ooh, cool. And you're like, no, you didn't learn how to fight, Cersei.
LOL. So
Yeah,
true.
but she can kill people in other ways, which she definitely does.
Yeah, and she has a banger line here about, like, your older brother was trained to lead and you were trained to follow. And I was like, Cersei, what the heck? Like, I feel like her comebacks in the show have been so much better than in the book. Like, I just feel like she's kind of like, I don't know, the show's showing her as this person who's just, like, on top of her shit as a villain, which doesn't necessarily happen in the books.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nev, I remember you saying that from Cersei's POV, she's not as collected and badass and whatever. And so, yeah, like, but you also get to see the train of thought that gets her to whatever she says.
Oh,
so, yeah,
it's
like,
not a
people
train.
love Cersei.
It's very sporadic, like, jumps.
You're like, how are you making connections between these things? There's no connection to be made. And then when there's connections to be made, she's like, I don't need to listen to that. Okay, hold on.
Like,
I don't need to listen to that sign because I can't read. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, she just can't. Yeah. Anyway, I can't get into this.
Yeah, she's very I mean,
she's much more competent in the show.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And that changes, but yeah.
Yeah.
Nev, I have a note here from you.
Oh, is this? I don't even remember what I told you to write down.
Yes, because Nev, like I actually had the notebook out, and then eventually Nev just was like, I don't want to write this down. Write this down for me. So then I did. Because I think they leave the interaction, or like last thing she says to him is like something really rude, and then she ends it with "Your Grace," and then Nev was like, I'm gonna start doing that in life from now on, just saying something really snotty, and then at the end just be like, "Your Grace," and then like curtsy and excuse yourself. And I was like, yeah, nice little strategy for the medieval times.
Love.
This will definitely work with
11:30 p.m. thoughts from me.
Yeah.
What the other thing, the one note that I did write down before I gave up on writing notes was when like Littlefinger is telling Sansa the story and Sir Hugh has just died, we're like, you know, we're like zoomed in on them, but there's like 4 people sitting behind them and they're just looking down and looking sad, and I was like, it was like a very clear, like, you could tell the director was like, just look down and look sad, just look down and look sad, like, it was very,
and like, pretend you don't hear the story that Littlefinger is not whispering to Sansa.
Exactly, like the secret story that nobody's
everyone
supposed
can
to
hear that.
Oh my god, yeah. That's so funny. I do remember you saying that. That was funny.
And that was literally my last note because I gave up at that point. So I'm very dedicated to this craft, as you can tell.
Well, to be in your defense, there was only like 10 minutes left in this episode, less,
like
probably
4.
Oh, okay.
So even more in my defense. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is our last scene. We are at the inn at the crossroads. They don't say it. Nobody mentions it, but we know.
Yes. First in appearance. It might be. So
Catelyn definitely knew the name of that inn.
It's okay. You don't really need to. It's like the inn that everybody goes to. It's the one that they all end up at. Like, basically over the seasons, whenever you see an inn, it's probably this inn.
That makes sense. It looks familiar.
Yeah. So Catelyn and Sir Roderick are there because they're on their way back from King's Landing to Winterfell, and Tyrion walks in because, like, somehow he's fast traveled and he's here now.
Time is irrelevant.
Yeah. This is like an actual, like, even in the book it didn't make sense how fast he got here, but like but either way, it's a very impactful scene. This is like one of those, like, oh my god, what if, like, things had been different? What if this is one of those major turning moments?
Yeah.
So Tyrion walks in and he's like, the innkeeper's telling him, oh, there's no rooms, there's nothing, like, I can't do anything, and he's like, oh, does anybody want to give me their room? And I'm just gonna tell you, Harmon, because it's not mentioned, but Bran is like, you
It's
can have my
Bran.
room.
Oh, that was Bran.
Because even in the book,
Yeah.
it's Bran who gives up his room.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
okay, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know to recognize him until they gave him a name in another episode. So I was like, oh my God, Bran.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's like, you can have my room. And Tyrion's like, oh, great, amazing. And then he like walks up and then he notices, oh, Catelyn, I missed you at
Immediately spots
Winterfell.
her. Yeah.
What are you up to? And instead of like, I think I said this when we covered the chapter, because this is like one of those things I'm like, why didn't you just do this? Instead of just being like, I miss my daughters. I had a bad dream. I just wanted to check they were fine. Like she gets up and starts like enlisting people around her on her side to arrest Tyrion. And it's a very big dramatic moment, but it is a very big dramatic mistake as well. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I remember at the time being so impressed with her. I'm like, oh man, she knows all these people, and she's getting them.
I mean,
like,
it is
what a
impressive. She's doing like a
badass.
whole like lesson here.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, the names are way more familiar to me now. So I was like, oh, I know those names actually. The River Lords, this and this and this. But I was like, what? Like, no, Kat. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You make so many.
I feel like
bad calls.
when you're I bet when you experience the scene and you don't have any knowledge of like what's gonna happen, you're just like, oh my God, like girl boss, like, you know, and like
Absolutely.
and
I was like, oh, this is so cool.
Making
And
the
it's
move.
obviously Tyrion.
yeah, literally, you're like, wow, like she's got the authority, and like she
We
doesn't
got
even,
this shit.
you know, and like especially because you're in her head, like you're totally on her side,
Mhm.
Sure.
and then you think about what's gonna happen, and you're like, oh wait, maybe my faves make mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, all the war and everything, it was inevitable. It was going to happen, but this just
Mhm.
happened to be the thing that tipped it over. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
but like
for
also
sure.
you can be like, oh, but Bran being pushed out the window was what tipped it over. But maybe it was John Aaron being killed that was what tipped. Like you can keep going
Yeah.
back to what caused things, but
Right.
of the things that caused things, this is a major one that we see. So
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Taking. Yeah. With no trial, no nothing. Just hey you. You
yeah,
like
I
my
mean,
dad,
she is gonna
right?
take him to a
Let's get
trial,
this
but she
guy.
does very like I did like that they kept this detail. Like she's like, I'm gonna take you back to Winterfell because she knows that people will be like the news will spread, and then like she'll be safer if she does not go to Winterfell and ends up going to the Eyrie and all of that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, although like
So she was
River Run
thinking-
was
she was
closer.
kind of
Like,
planning.
girl, go to River Run.
No, we don't see River Run yet.
No.
Screw that.
Oh my
But I
God.
guess we needed to see the Eyrie and like I mean that's a whole thing.
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my God, we're gonna fucking meet Lysa, and I'm gonna want to throw a brick at the wall. The TV.
And
Oh, yeah.
but that is how this episode ends. Very dramatic. Everybody pulls out their swords
Oh
and like
yeah, and then Peter Dinklage looks like really mad.
yeah, he's like, I just said hi. What is
Yeah.
what's with
Well,
all the
okay,
hostility?
no, he knew what he was doing though.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like he. So like also there, it's like you didn't have to make a big show of Kat being there. You could have, like what were you trying to do here?
Yeah. Why
Stir
you
shit
calling
up,
her
and then
out?
look, you got arrested. Look what you did.
Tyrion
Fuck
has
around
one of
and found
those
out.
like can't help but say the thing
Very
personalities.
much so. It feels very obvious here than it did later.
Yeah.
but this is also one version of him.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Rip.
Okay. That's the episode. Pretty good,
Cool.
actually. Like, I think talking about it made me like it more. I think in the not that I didn't
Me
like
too.
it. Like I said, I was just like, this is so much exposition. Like that's why I was looking for
It is a
details in the
lot, yeah.
walls because I was like, I already know all this.
Sure.
Because there was nothing actually happening.
Well, things were happening, just not for my
For first-time
benefit
viewers,
necessarily.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I'm sure because I watched the show, a good chunk of the show before I read the book. So, like, I'm sure I
Mhm.
appreciated it at that time. And I kept going so much that
Yes.
I liked it. So,
I definitely did. Yeah. Yeah, it didn't feel as I don't remember at the time having it feel like so clunky, except for the bathtub one. That was weird.
Oh.
But every other time it was just like, oh, we're learning about these people through conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And not,
I still argue
like,
that the bathtub scene was completely unnecessary, and even like the little drops of like dragon glass, faceless
They don't
men, like
need it
they
out.
didn't.
Absolutely.
We could have
No.
just dealt
The
with.
dragons' names that we don't need, like none of that bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you recognize some of the names though this time around?
I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Aww. Cute.
Dragon House. Woo.
So
So-
cute.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Well, I don't have like a next chapter. Oh well, maybe I do have a next chapter. Okay, wait, we are. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
wait, it is next chapters, because after this episode, we're planning to start the 5th book. Oh, I didn't even think
That's
about
what I
that.
thought.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I actually haven't done the breakdown, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna read the prologue and the first chapter. Yeah,
Oh, both?
Let's go
Are
with
you
that.
sure? That's
Yeah.
crazy. Okay.
So,
We're
do you want
deciding
to?
now?
So, Emily, let me give you some context. All our listeners know this and are tired of this, but
Sorry.
book 4 and 5 are the same time but different characters. So
What?
there's like half of our characters we haven't seen since book 3, even though we just read book 4.
What?
Yeah.
So-
Why would they do that?
That's
Good
a very
question.
good question that we cannot get back into. But
I'm
you
so sorry.
Google it and let me know.
Sure, and get no answer. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so A Dance with Dragons. That's what we're
Mhm.
starting next time.
Amazing.
It's gonna have characters that we haven't seen in a while. So of those characters, Harmith, or new characters, who do you think will the first chapter be?
Okay.
And let me actually like,
Prologue?
find the chapter so that I can like confirm it.
Okay. I have a prediction.
Ooh.
The prologue is going to be Rickon. And then chapter
Oh.
1, I'm saying things that I don't actually think are going to happen, but like just for fun. Like I'm making fun predictions right now. Okay. Prologue is Rickon. No. Prologue is Osha. Not Asha. Osha.
Okay. So still Rickon's story, but
Yeah, like
through
with
different
Rickon.
eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, because Rickon's like 5. Like, I don't need the 5-year-old's perspective, you know?
Fair.
What do you mean? You don't love hearing a 5-year-old talk?
And then chapter 1 is gonna be Jenna Lannister. Because she's
Okay.
hiding Tyrion.
That's
I don't actually believe that, but I need something Tyrion adjacent that isn't Tyrion, and that was the last prediction
why
I think
adjacent?
I made.
Why just not Tyrion?
Because that's boring. I need a new POV. Duh.
Okay.
Like,
So,
and then eventually we'll get back into Jon, Tyrion,
so you're
Dany.
sticking
Wait,
with your
dude.
wild theory that Jenna Lannister is hiding Tyrion.
Sure, that's all I got for you. Or
Jenna
it
is
could be
Tyrion's
someone.
aunt, by the way, Emily. You may not remember. She is mentioned in the show, but you won't remember.
Okay.
Or it could be like someone from the Brotherhood. Maybe they're hiding Tyrion. No, they can't.
But
be
we
hiding
just
Tyrion.
saw
They're
the
on Catelyn's
Brotherhood
side.
like the other
Hiding
day.
Yeah, I know,
Tyrion
they're on-
from who?
Oh, because this is after Tyrion has just killed his dad.
Oh, snap. Okay.
yeah.
So
we
we don't know
literally.
where
That's the last
Tyrion
time
is.
we saw him. He killed his dad
Amazing.
and then left for an entire book. And we
Amazing.
haven't heard, as far as I know, a single thing about what he's up to.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. So
I'm
the
excited.
prologue is called the prologue.
Great.
And it is set in the north. So I'll tell you that.
Wow. Okay. Is this like a Bolton vibe? Is
well,
this like
there's a lot of north, okay?
Oh.
Just like
Yeah, there's a lot of numbers. Oh my god.
Don't get excited.
Yeah.
It could literally be a fray and then I would cry. Like
Oh, the worst.
it could be a fray. Very true. All right.
Wait,
And-
I'm changing my prediction. Well,
Well, what?
prologue. Yes,
You
I get
know
to change
information.
it. I get to change it. It's
I
gonna
wish I
be
did that. Shit.
what was Ned's friend's name who might know about John's parentage?
Oh, Howland Reed.
Yes, it's gonna be him.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Sure. I will let that prediction stand. Chapter 1 is in fact Tyrion.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This would be a great time for me to have a really smart prediction about where Tyrion is, but I don't have one for you. I've had an entire book to ruminate on this, and I'm still no closer to knowing what's going on with Tyrion.
Well, we also don't know where Varys is. Like, Varys was the one who was
they
arranging
together?
the escape, so
Who
maybe
knows?
you can follow those strings. Like, where might Varys send? Like, does Varys know Jaime Lannister?
They're gonna go. They're actually hanging out with Illyrio right now, and then they're gonna meet up with Dany on her way back. Because now
on her
Tyrion
way
hates
back,
like on her way to Westeros, not on her way back. And then because Tyrion hates his family now, so now he's gonna join the Dany cause. Oh my god, maybe Tyrion becomes a dragon head. That's the one I have. Recently I've started
Like
predicting everybody as a dragon head.
Got it.
Right now, the current theory is Jon, Bran, and like the Martell guy.
not
whatever his name
Dany,
was.
the one who actually has the dragons.
No, but Dany. Does she have to be a dragon? I guess okay, sure. I guess to me, I'm just like, well, she's like in control. Like, does she have to be a dragon head? Okay, fine, Dany, Jon, and I guess now Tyrion? I don't know. Or no, I had said it was gonna be, okay, I don't know. There's too many. We have like 10 options for people who want to be
Were you talking about
heads.
Oberyn?
No, she was
Oberyn-
saying Quentin.
I
That's
thought
a
she said
character.
Martell,
That's a
sorry.
character.
Okay.
The show is very different in the later seasons. Let me
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
stop there.
Interesting. Okay. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I have no idea where Tyrion is.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
Tyrion is with Illyrio and Varys hanging out in Pentos. I
Okay,
think.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. I guess okay, that's the predictions. Now we don't have any emails. I will like double, triple, quadruple check, but no, I think we emailed everybody out with all the emails for the wrap-up episode. But we still love emails, so keep sending them. And Emily, do you want to tell everybody where they can find you, what you do, what you want them to do, all those things?
Sure. I guess it's kind of going to be past tense right now. I do host a podcast.
It still
called
exists,
Game of
even though you're
Thrones.
not recording.
That's true. It's still going to be around. We're not getting rid of it, and it will still exist. I host a podcast called Game of Thrones. Mostly with my sister. In the beginning, it was just me. Where I took 6 years to watch all of Game of Thrones and the first 2 seasons of House of the Dragon. I don't know when this is coming out, but the final episode will be coming out on April 22nd.
Yeah, this is going to come out the week after. So it's out.
Okay,
People, go
so
listen to it.
It's already out. And so that is all the Game of Thrones video content that there is currently.
Unless everybody
so-
asks them to cover A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which will be later this year, which will line up with their timeline of taking a break. Just saying. Okay.
Wow.
We'll see where we are in life at that point, and then it would
Fair
also
enough.
have to be live.
It's only
There's
6
so many
episodes.
other things. Yes, but that means that they would have to come out quickly. Like don't most people do reaction videos instead now, and so it would have to come out like the week of or the day after.
Well, like
or
I said to
something like that.
Kate, I have like high hopes for this series, which is like a promise for disaster. So what I need you to do for me specifically is, even if the series sucks, at least I get to listen to you talk about it. So
Oh man. Okay.
No,
All
I'm just-
right.
I'm kidding.
I will look into it.
You go. I'm gonna listen to you
everyone-
talk about movies instead. So
You all convinced me already in the last season of Game of Thrones to watch Dragon House. I remember every
And it
episode
wasn't horrible.
I started it. It was no, it's good. It's fine. There are parts of it good, parts of it fine. Like there's
That's
a lot going on in that series.
Mhm.
But I found out that there are only 2 more seasons, so I'm like, okay, we'll see about that. Yes. So anyway, yes, I watched all of that, spoiler free, didn't know anything. You can listen to my. I mean, this is our brother sister podcast basically. I did it with the TV show. Harmon's doing it with the books.
Yeah.
It's just that I, cheated and did the easy way, and I'm already done. So that's the one difference.
You also started before we did, so
I
you
did.
had that.
That's also true. So that's out there. Kate was she came on after a while as my quote unquote expert, which just means she had seen the show before. She is by no means an expert. That's why we have Nuv on.
If you want more of the in the book interludes, go listen to the episodes I've been on.
Oh
but
my
also,
God.
we would both be confused, and you would come on and be like, "Hey, you idiots! This."
That's
And we're
not
like,
what I
"Oh,
said."
Thanks. No, absolutely not. I was thinking it. I mean, I can't remember how many times we said, "We're idiots. Please tell us what's going on. We're dumb." So, especially with House of the Dragon, in which Kate decided to not watch it beforehand, and we both didn't know what was happening, and it was insane.
Yeah. And for
so,
me, it was a great outlet because with Harmeth, especially at the like, I can talk a lot more now because we have experienced, 80% of the series. But at the beginning, I had to be so tight-lipped, I couldn't say anything. So going on to Game of Thrones, it was like, I can talk, I can say things, I can theorize and be a nerd and all of those things,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes. So especially House of the Dragon is the second season is within the year that it came out. So we are, tangentially relevant with that. So if you just want to listen to those, you can. We have a Patreon. It has unedited episodes if you feel like listening to those.
Yeah.
I am not offended.
And you also did like some bonus stuff. Didn't you
we
cover
did
like
bonus
last
episodes.
Christmas and like some like
But those were also, I did videos versions of them. So there's like 2 video versions of unedited episodes, but that's for the Patreon. The actual episode came out on the actual
Oh, it did. Okay. I only listened to the
It did.
Patreon one, so I don't know what other people
know.
get. So
Oh my
No,
God.
I'm just
the bonus-
superior
yeah,
like
they came-
that.
the audio the audio versions came out. Yeah, if you want to join that journey with me in addition to Harmets and it's out there. It will be out there. The Patreon will not be going away. You could pay for a month, listen to what you want, and then go away. Like, it's fine.
No pressure.
Whatever you want to do. It is Game of Thrones Pod on Patreon. We're on all the social media. Instagram is my favorite. So if you want to get to me, it's Game of Thrones Pod on Instagram. Kate and I do have a plan for what we are doing next as far as a podcast. Probably going to take the summer off and flesh it out and figure it out.
So make sure you do follow them so you can know when they are posting again.
Correct. Yes. Or and we'll probably also on the podcast feed if we do anything.
Do an announcement. Yeah.
Yes, there's probably going to be one like bonus episode of Dragon House, just like thoughts, predictions, whatever, because just like a summary, like an overall,
like a wrap up, like we do after books.
Yes, and like we did at the end of Game of Thrones when we finished that, we did multiple just stupid bonus ones to take some time. We took quizzes and shit for one of them, so
yeah, that's some of the best stuff.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. I don't know. It was fun for me. So, yeah, there'll be 1 or 2 more maybe, but it will be on hiatus. But it's all still there. I'm sorry if you start at the beginning. The audio does get better, I promise.
As is always the case. Except
yeah,
with ours. I don't know
know.
if it's gotten any better or worse. It's
I mean, yours is good.
well, I used to
just
put a
listening to-
lot more effort into editing than I do now, so
But you're getting you get into a rhythm, you get relaxed.
That's
it sounds
true.
like actual conversation versus you cutting out every breath and every silence and every same. So no, it's all good. But yeah, that's what I did. That's what I do. That's what Kate does as well.
yeah, go check
but
them
yeah,
out,
it's something-
everyone. Go listen to all of the
Yeah,
episodes.
and
And then tell me.
it's in the works.
Yeah,
And then
actually,
tell
I
me
should do
about
a
them.
re-listen now that you're finishing. Like, start
Oh
from
my
the
God,
beginning and
don't.
like
No.
go through your entire journey again.
Don't
my
do it.
God.
bad.
No, I'm probably gonna do it. You can't stop me.
Oh my god. Well, then don't listen to the ones where I was pregnant and sound very different.
Oh.
So it's very like nasal, like I could hear it. Yeah.
I am sure they're great. We're our worst critics, and
I know.
yeah. It's
But no, thanks for having me. This
thank
was
you
so
for
much fun. I
coming.
was
This
so
was
excited
amazing.
Oh my
when you
God,
reached out.
yes.
Was like, yeah, watch Game of Thrones, and I was like, I haven't watched any of this in 6 years. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
like
Oh my
I'm
God.
sure
This is
you're
wild.
just tired of this whole everything, but thank you for getting back into it with us.
This was a nice. Yeah, like honestly, yeah. I was like, do I rewatch this? I don't know, or do I? Yeah, listen to my own shit. Like it's like the self-obsessed person I am. I'm not.
That's the
and
last
be
word
like-
I would use to describe you.
I know. No, that's my sister. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
No, Kate
No,
is just art obsessed, as we saw with her.
Her room,
Yes,
her sewing
it was
room. Yes.
amazing.
Yeah. When she gets obsessed with something, she gets obsessed.
She does it the right way.
Yes, I would say so. Yeah. True
Fan.
older sister vibes.
All right. Well,
yeah, that's
everybody go follow at Game of Thrones Pod on all the socials, and also, of course, go actually listen to the podcast. And I would say it's definitely worth being on the Patreon, because whenever, I assume you're gonna like have a Patreon when you have like the other podcast as well.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
Honestly,
I really
I'm not
enjoyed
sure,
getting
'cause it's a
early
lot of
access
work.
to all the episodes, because then I could just listen to it on
Yes.
Monday morning, and then I could like text them about all my thoughts later that evening, and then it's not even out yet the
Yeah.
next day. And it was,
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to be persuaded for that, because it was a lot more work.
fair.
So
Yeah, that
We'll
is
see.
fair.
But there's a lot of fun stuff that you save for the unedited, because it takes up so much time.
Yes.
And with the movie one, we're gonna have to be more concise. Can't do 3 or 4 hour episodes. I think.
Are
for
you
that
ready
movie.
to share the name of the movie one yet, or is that still a secret?
No.
Sounds good.
Mm-mm. Still.
Yeah,
still-
so-
yeah. Not yet.
Stay tuned for that specifically.
Mhm.
And I can't wait for all the movies you watch, and hopefully it'll encourage me to also branch out and watch some different movies than I usually watch. I don't watch a lot
We
of
definitely vary in genres.
Yeah.
Pretty heavily. So it'll be interesting.
That's gonna be fun.
see.
Like popping
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
completely different vibes.
And it's
And
also
I'm just excited to have known something. The first thing we're doing is a movie she hasn't seen, no matter what.
Nice.
It's going to be something that I have seen before.
Ooh,
Amazing.
beautiful.
oh, you're gonna be in the know.
It'll be nice.
Yeah. It's that'll I'm really looking forward to that, because like I trust both of your tastes as people, so like I feel good with like whenever you're like covering a movie, I feel comfortable that if it's not my favorite, I'll at least like it enough,
Sure.
and
yeah.
and if I hate it, then at least I have you to listen to about it. So
Yeah, because for me, it's a lot of like, the classic ones. I'm like, I never watched that. I watch rom-coms. And they're like, Kate's
Yeah.
like, the movie, I studied film in college. I'm like, okay.
That's
So,
so funny.
whatever.
I'm so you. Every time I'm like, okay, what am I watching? Shitty rom-com. What am I watching? Shitty rom-com.
Hallmark, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just so like comforting. The world life
It's
is
so
just
good.
so hard sometimes. Like, why wouldn't you take the easy thing that's easy on your brain, easy on your eyes? Like, do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to guess how it's going to end.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I recently got Letterboxd, and it's made me watch so many more movies than I like ever have.
Oh, that app. I've heard of that.
It's like total. I guess I'm plugging something here, but
No,
like,
go ahead.
I am plugging I'm plugging Letterboxd. Like
More
I was
social
like,
media, because that's what you need in life.
shush your face.
I'm like a
Judgy
social
much?
media nihilist. Yeah.
Okay.
Some people need an escape from their life, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
Anyway,
Fair.
okay.
I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Exactly. We need social media, okay? Maybe not in the current condition it's in, but in general, it would be nice to keep it in like a good way. Anyway, moving on. That's none of my business. My business right now is Letterboxd. So, Letterboxd is amazing, and I'm not saying you guys should get it. I'm just saying that because also the thing is, you might get obsessed with it and then, like me, start watching movies instead of studying when you should be studying.
So get it in a month.
Yeah, exactly. Get it when you have some like free time, especially because like if you're like me and like you're very type A, you're gonna want to try and log every single movie you've ever watched. Like when I got the app, you guys, I refused to add any of my friends for like a full like 15 days because I was like sitting there like every day I'd be like, oh, I watched this movie, because the thing is it notifies every time you're like adding to your diary and stuff, and like I wanted to make it look a very particular way, so I literally didn't add anyone back for the longest time because I was like, this needs to be organized. And I got really into it.
Handle user ID?
Do I?
You don't have to.
Not right now. I think that eventually I will. But for now, if you want my user ID, join the Discord. Because it's in there, and anyone who's on the Discord, feel free to add me.
Yeah.
So exclusive access to my Letterboxd,
but
guys.
like there's really no barrier other than Discord.
It just is like Discord. Yeah, the only barrier is just like, oh, you care enough to be on the Discord. I care. That means I care enough about you to allow you to see my embarrassing reviews. You know, like,
there we go.
That's just.
Do you have to write stuff, or is it just stars?
You can do whatever you want. You can just say I watched it. You can say I watched it on this day. You can say, I watched it on this day and I give it 3 stars. You can say, I watched it on this day and I give it 3 stars, and here are all my film critic thoughts. Or, like, here are all my silly That's what I'm saying. It's so customizable. Wow. And, like, my thing is, like, I've always, like, whenever I have strong opinions about things that I watch, I always note them down somewhere. Like, I have them in my notes app. I have them in a spreadsheet. Like, I've always been that way. And this just gives me a place to put them all in one spot that I never even realized I needed. And I do. Mm-hmm. But I'm also like, really cool. I also have very strong opinions about things. So I have friends who log like one movie there once a year, and I'm like, I know you've watched more than one movie, but like they just like the vibes. So it's great. You should get Letterboxd. Is basically my plug. But anyway, I guess my original point was it's made me watch a lot more movies. Like I've never been a movie person. I would watch movies like just for like I would watch movies, but like it would just be like I would just watch like silly goofy rom-coms or like silly goofy Hallmark. Mm-hmm. But now I feel myself becoming a movie person with every passing day.
That's fun.
Yeah, weird.
This is going to be a bit of a tangent, and you can totally cut this out.
Never.
But I totally feel you because I'm the same way. It was like, you know, action movies at the time, Marvel movies, you know, Disney and rom-coms and whatever. And my husband is very much the opposite. It's the war movies. It's the serious movies. It's the Oscar movies. It's this. Wow. And, you know, we would overlap with, you know, like Disney and Marvel. But we, and this is years ago, we decided that we were going to go to a movie theater every Tuesday of every week because it was $5 movies. Mm-hmm. And that was our weekly date night. And so that's what we would do is we would go pick a movie, but what we did is we alternated picks, and whoever picked it
so you've kind of been doing this podcast, but like in real life.
Well, we both hadn't seen the movie.
Yes, but like the picking the movie. I mean, yes.
Oh, but you reminded me, Harmit, because I used to write down, because I used to bullet journal. I used to write down the date, the title, and my rating for it.
You would love Letterboxd. You would.
Because
you have been influenced.
Made me think of it. It's because I have. I'm okay with that. You know, that's fine. Because I'm sure Chase doesn't know about it, and he would love it too.
Yeah,
because he would have a different rating.
Yes.
But it really got me out of my comfort zone for movies and stuff, and so it let us see movies that we both wanted to see. So it was like, if you're ever a movie person with someone else, I really suggest alternating.
Yeah.
Alternating picks, and then since we went every week because it was cheap at the time, like you would see all the good stuff and all the things, but just like not when it's real busy and expensive that weekend, the first weekend of anything. So yeah,
that's so
it was
that's amazing.
Really, really
that's a really
fun.
good idea.
And we stopped in February of 2020.
Yeah.
And the last movie we saw, I think, was Sonic in theaters.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah,
Aw.
and then I think I've only seen like 2 since then, because then I had my baby in Japan and whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, but we used to be big movie people, and that was a really fun part of my life and my marriage. So, yeah, this sounds really, really nice.
That
But you'll
is
kind of
so
get
amazing.
back to a similar thing with trying out movies with Kate now.
Yes, that's true. Yes, and then hopefully eventually, date nights again.
Yes.
But, movies are so long now.
Yeah, they're so long. Also, I don't know if they do $5 Tuesdays anymore. It's everything just
absolutely,
so.
probably
It's
not.
so rarely.
I just meant like movie at home. Like
Yeah.
babysitter, who is that?
Yeah.
So no, it's like
Yeah.
home movies right now, I think. But yeah, that's super cool. So now you pretty much sold me at this point.
Oh my god. Okay. Tell me your username once you get it, and then I will add you. And you will see my
Okay,
cringy little
cool.
page.
I don't care.
No,
might be
like
just as cringy,
in like
you
a
don't
fun
know.
way. In like a fun way.
Okay.
Like it's supposed to be cringy. Like I do have my real name on there, but my name is not my username on there because it's like a little like, oh, this is just me being a silly, goofy person on the internet,
Oh.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway,
Amazing.
guys, get
Tangent.
letterboxed.
Sorry.
But also, okay, sorry. Now that sorry, just last thought, I promise, and then I will shut up. But like also, like support like your local like indie theaters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like a part of what's also made me more of a movie person is like actually going to like local films and stuff. Like I think before it just always was like it was a thing I wanted to do but I never really made time for, and I think I was bad at knowing what I would like, cuz like let's be so real with any art, like especially when it's indie, it's like it's hit or miss, you know what I mean? Because it's just people expressing themselves and it's not, you don't have that barrier of like, oh, this got an Oscar, so it hopefully got through enough people to like, you know what I mean? Like with indie, you
That
just never
doesn't
know.
mean anything. Oscar movies can
To
be bad.
That's true. That's true. I also don't really watch Oscar movies, so in my mind, I don't actually know how good they end up being. Unless it's Wicked and it's a musical, and then I care. Anyway, moving on. Sorry. Harmit, wrap it up. What was I saying?
Go watch
so
indie
go support
movies.
go support indie movies because
Yeah.
I feel like we get in our own heads and in our own little shells so much about what we watch, because Letterboxd also helped me realize that, where I was looking at like, I was like, hey, what movies do I remember watching in my life? And I was like, oh, I've really only ever watched like super mainstream stuff. So I'm trying to expand my palette, and you guys should too. Anyway, I'm done. I promise.
No, amazing. I like it. Your
Cool.
thing reminded me of a discovery I recently made. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and the main place to get audiobooks is like Audible, which sucks. I've been getting them through Libby and like Hoopla for my library
heard
a
good
lot.
things
Like
about
that.
that.
Guys,
Those are great.
go to Libby. So good.
Yeah. I finally influenced you on that one, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, Libby is amazing. Like, just check out your library and the options they have. But if, like, libraries have, like, our library has a pretty good collection, but occasionally there's a book that I need that they don't have, then if I need to buy a book, instead of going to Audible now, I found this new app. It's Libro.fm, and it's just like Audible, but the
I've
books
heard
you're
about them too.
buying
Okay.
are from your local bookstores.
Cute.
What?
So
that's amazing.
That's cool.
It is amazing. So like you go in and you can enter like, I'm in this city. What are the bookstores near me? And then like you pick whatever your
wow.
favorites are. And then when you go search a title, if it's available at that bookstore, they get the proceeds from it. And obviously the app
Iconic.
gets it, but Amazon does not get it. So go do that.
Iconic.
Yeah,
Guys, let's fucking do that.
Yeah.
that's really cool.
And oh my God.
That's
Ki-
beautiful. Oh,
Emily, you're
love
always
that.
like, you always, not always, but there was a phase where you were plugging a lot of library things, and I loved that because I'm such a like fan of libraries. The other day, somebody asked me,
Yes.
"Oh, what's your like ideal date spot?" And I was like, "The library."
Library.
Like, why is that even a question? Because
Oh my god.
like especially like central libraries tend to have a lot of activities, and there's like creator spaces, and there's like you can do a lot of
Yes.
shit in the library.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and seeing the second phase, yeah, we had a really good one in Japan. Taking my daughter, they had great stuff for kids, and yeah,
Amazing.
it's such a good resource for adults and kids and students and everything, and it's free.
Yeah,
it
we
saves
need
you
to
money
support our
instead of,
libraries more
buying
because
books.
the more
Yes.
patrons they get, the more funding they get, and that's what
Yes.
we need.
The more, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, definitely, yeah, and my daughter's such a reader already and such a book person.
Aw, as she
Um,
should be.
She has.
That's
she
how
has
you know you're
2 bookshelves
raising
in
her right.
room. Oh yeah, and I mean, yeah, she can read, so yeah, she's doing
Amazing.
real well.
She's
Beautiful.
gonna wow all the 5-year-olds in kindergarten next year.
Oh my
God.
god.
Yep, that's happening. Kindergarten.
Oh my god.
Not for a while though. I'm sorry, didn't mean to scare you.
No, you're fine. I just
Oh my
Oh.
god.
But you'll
Aw.
get some more time for yourself and she'll get like to be with people her age and learn new things, and it's
Oh, yeah.
it's exciting.
Oh, I'm sure she's gonna walk in and not look back. I will be the one.
You're gonna be
like,
so
sad,
hurt. You're
waiting
like,
behind
but
her.
I thought
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
cry, you'd miss me, but nope.
No, absolutely not. No, I know her already.
Oh my
That was
God.
me as a kid. I waited to the last minute to go into kindergarten outside with my mom.
Oh.
She's very reminiscent of my sister, and I'm
Hmm.
worried if I'm raising my sister. Honestly,
Oh
in
my
some
God.
way.
Hey, Kate's pretty amazing, so
Kate is pretty amazing, and I mean they were also born in April,
oh.
first girls.
Oh my
Aries.
god.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities. So
Dude.
like I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's very funny.
Thank you, Emily, for coming on. It was amazing. I loved it. I'm sure Hamid loved it. Even
Yes.
though we get to disagree with her on certain things. But yeah, for our podcast, if you, like I said earlier, send us emails. Our email is popculturesymposium@gmail.com, and we're at Pop Culture Symposium on the social media thingies. But more importantly, join the Discord because it's fun, and we'll do cool stuff there. And that's everything. Until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.
Not today.